Morning, it's 30 in Seattle right now. A barricade situation in Lacey ended with a deadly shootout last night. Police say it started about 5 o'clock near College Street and 45th. SWAT surrounded the area after reports of a suspect with a gun. Shots were fired between SWAT and that person. The suspect died at the scene despite life-saving efforts. No officers hurt. There is no ongoing threat to the public. The city of Lakewood was hit with a federal $26 million wrongful death lawsuit. It involves a high-speed chase that ended in the death of a 57-year-old father of 7. We get the details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened in 2023. According to the lawsuit, the case involves a high-speed pursuit between Lakewood officers and 2 juvenile robbery suspects. That pursuit ended in the death of commercial truck driver Bowden Vetrov. Former Pierce County prosecutor Mark Lindquist represents the family.
Lakewood officers ignored their own departmental policies, ignored state law, and ignored common sense.
We've reached out to the city of Lakewood for comment, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
We told you several Seattle schools had to shelter in place Tuesday after reports of ICE activity. Well, now, according to the Seattle Times, the district says those reports were never confirmed. Officials monitored conditions all day and saw no ICE presence near campuses. Parents and teachers told the board last night the orders caused stress and confusion. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is making big changes at City Hall. She announced yesterday several department heads will be replaced. That includes leaders in arts and culture, parks, housing, and economic development. According to the Seattle Times, she's also making changes to transportation and Seattle City Light. Wilson is keeping the city's planning chief and the police chief, as we've told you before. December's record-breaking floods left nearly 4,000 Washington homes damaged and forced 100,000 people to evacuate. Now Governor Bob Ferguson is formally asking President Trump for a major disaster declaration and $21.3 million in federal aid. Ferguson and his team started laying the groundwork for this request last month.
We walked through the numerous highway closures. We walked through the flood levels. We walked through tens of thousands of Washingtonians being evacuated.
The request covers 10 counties and 15 tribal nations hit by 18 days of storms. 1 person died in that time. The state will make another request next month for money to fix damaged infrastructure. And Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold is feeling better. After suffering an oblique strain in practice last week, Coach Mike McDonald told reporters yesterday.
Sam continues to get better. He's not going to be a full go the whole week, so we have a plan. We're going to work through it, see how the day goes, and then we'll kind of take it day by day.
And the Hawks are also working out George Holani at running back for Sunday's game against the LA Rams after Zach Charbonnet suffered a season-ending knee injury. Kickoff 3:30. You'll hear all the action right here on KIRO News Radio. 5:13, let's check the early drive. It's time for a traffic update, and for that, we check in with Jillian Raftery.
Good morning, and as expected, we are wonderfully clear on the roadways. I'm seeing green all over the map. It's speed limit drive from Tacoma all the way to Everett, and let's brag about those travel times. Alderwood to South Center, all the way on 405 is only 28 minutes right now. Alderwood to South Center on I-5 is 26 minutes. Auburn to Renton, 10 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 21 minutes. Seattle to Linwood, 15 minutes. I will just say, you said it's foggy and cold.
Yeah.
I had to have at least a few extra minutes to de-ice my windshield.
Took me about 5 minutes.
Yes. So if you're getting on the road, make sure you give yourself a few extra minutes to do that.
All right, thank you very much. It is a chilly start, as we mentioned. We're going to see more cloud cover for today. Some peaks of sunshine, a high of only 42 today. Tomorrow, fogging in the morning, 46 the high with sunshine in the afternoon. By tomorrow night, those overnight lows are going to be in the upper 20s. Same deal on Saturday. Sunday, game day, looks like partly cloudy and 45. Right now, foggy and 30 in Seattle. Coming up, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna will break down a hearing in the Washington State Supreme Court today surrounding the Natural Gas Initiative. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said, hey, Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
Good morning. It is 5:18 on your Thursday morning. Today, the Washington State Supreme Court hears oral arguments in a case questioning the constitutionality of the state's natural gas initiative. We spoke with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna, and he gave us a preview of what to expect.
Well, this involves Initiative 2066, which voters approved a few years ago when it was on the ballot. And as you already pointed out, the initiative's intent is to prevent the state legislature from banning the use of natural gas. So the legislature's stated policy goal is to phase out the use of natural gas in Washington state because, of course, natural gas is a fossil fuel and it creates greenhouse gases. So their goal was to, move everyone to rely entirely on electricity to heat their homes, for example, for their water heater, et cetera. Although, for many, many decades, Washington State's policy was to move people towards natural gas because natural gas is a more fuel-efficient way to heat your home, to heat the water in your water heater, and so forth. So the sponsors put this initiative together to overturn what the legislature was trying to do, put it on the ballot. It passed. The opponents of the measure tried to block it from even going to the ballot. They failed. Then when it passed, they went to court to challenge it, and they persuaded a Superior Court judge to overturn it on the principle that they alleged that there was more than one subject in the initiative and that violates the state constitution, which requires that laws that are passed by the legislature or the people contain only one subject. So we should probably talk about what the court found those different subjects to be and why the sponsors of the legislation or the sponsors of the initiative think that's just flat wrong.
Rob, what are you expecting to come out of this hearing?
Well, the Supreme Court's hearing will be focused on Article 2 of the state constitution, Section 19, which provides that, I'm quoting now, no bill shall embrace more than one subject, and that shall be expressed in the title. And the proponents of the initiative are going to say, look, we crafted this initiative with a general title dealing with the overarching subject of preserving energy choice. We clearly informed voters that this initiative, if they voted for it, would repeal or prohibit laws and regulations that prohibit, discourage, or ban the use of natural gas. And the opponents of the initiative will come in and say, oh, well, look, this covered the issue of providing natural gas to homes and businesses. And now I'm looking at the Superior Court's ruling and reading from that. It said that, agencies would be limited in their authority to control air pollution and that there would be changed building efficiency standards. So they'll say, well, those are all separate subjects. And the Supreme Court will need to decide whether or not, because this had a general title and because it was clear what the initiative was aiming at, whether it violated the single subject rule or not.
And Rob, in the past, the single subject rule has been used to overturn initiatives such as those passed by Tim Eyman and car tabs, right?
Yeah, and that's right. Sometimes the authors of initiatives try to cram too much into one measure, and then voters are confronted with a measure that they might like parts of it, might not like other parts of it, and then they have to decide if I'm going to vote for it at all or not. I've observed over the last 30 years plus that the Supreme Court tends to apply the single subject rule more rigorously to voter-approved initiatives than it does to the laws that the state legislature routinely passes. It's a double standard, in my opinion. And so they have tossed initiatives that, like the car tax initiative. Now, what happened there, as you remember, is the legislature turned right around and readopted it. Did they toss it after the legislature readopted it? No. Again, because I think there's a double standard. If it's the legislature acting, they behave differently sometimes than if it's the people passing an initiative. Why is that? Well, you don't never know for sure, but if you're looking for motivations at the Supreme Court, the legislature does control their budget, so maybe they're a little more careful with measures passed by the legislature. I don't know. I mean, it's just speculation, but it does seem like they're quicker to overturn measures that are passed by popular vote on the single subject rule than they are measures passed by the legislature.
When do you think we might see a decision in this case?
I think we'll see it anywhere from 3 to 12 months out. Typically, what you see is that if there's a unanimous court, they'll issue the ruling more quickly. If there are differing opinions, it takes them longer to come up with a majority opinion, and if, they have to allow time for dissenting opinions, so that can take a year or even longer.
And who is the entity that is defending, or rather supporting, this initiative in front of the Supreme Court?
Well, it's the Building Industry Association of Washington. These are the home builders. The home builders obviously care about this issue of natural gas because, they're building houses for people, and most consumers still want to have access to natural gas to heat their homes and run their water heaters and maybe their gas-fired fireplace. Electricity is more expensive. If you've ever had a home that's all electric, you're aware that it's more expensive than ever now because the state has adopted other policy measures, including the carbon tax, that makes electricity generation more expensive. So people are noticing their electric bills go up. Natural gas over time, over the long term, has come down quite a bit in price. And so it's more cost effective, and it's a better bargain for a lot of people. And the builders, I think, were reflecting that when they decided to bring this to the voters by initiative.
And that's former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. We'll be watching the progress of this case as it makes its way through the state Supreme Court. 524, quick check on the forecast. Cold and fog, again, is the story. Right now in Seattle, it is foggy and 30 degrees. Coming up, a deadly SWAT standoff in Lacey, and KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with why a Tacoma police sergeant was let go last year. This is Seattle's Morning News.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in 1 day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:31. I'm Manda Factor. President Trump's vision for a board of peace is now reality. At the signing ceremony this morning in Davos, Mr. Trump said the Gaza war is, quote, really coming to an end. We get more from CBS's Ed O'Keefe in Davos.
On the list, 21 nations, including countries like Saudi Arabia and NATO ally Turkey. Notably absent, Israel and other Western allies like France and the United Kingdom. The president has previously said the board could replace some duties of the United Nations.
But there's tremendous potential with the United Nations, and I think the combination of the Board of Peace with the kind of people we have here, coupled with the United Nations, can be something very, very unique for the world.
One person is dead after exchanging gunfire with SWAT in Lacey. We get the details from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
It happened Wednesday evening near College Street and 45th. Police say the suspect barricaded themselves inside the apartment with a gun. SWAT moved in and shots were fired. That suspect died despite attempts to save them. No officers were injured and investigators are now handling the case. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
A political battle continues over who will end up serving as U.S. Attorney for Western Washington. Democratic U.S. Senator Patty Murray has vowed to block the appointment of interim U.S. Attorney Charles Neal Floyd if he were to be nominated. He sat down for an exclusive interview with the Jason Wrench Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
I think it would be hard to argue that I'm not qualified to be the United States Attorney.
Murray told the Seattle Times recently Floyd has a track record of denying bond for immigrants who pose no threat to the community. With no nomination from the Trump administration, federal judges will appoint a new U.S. attorney to replace him when his term expires next month. Washington's longest-serving Democratic lawmaker is stepping down. Senator Steve Conway of South Tacoma says he will not seek re-election after 34 years. He called it the honor of his life to serve his community. He first joined the legislature in 1993 and became a senator in 2011. And high honors for a Seahawks wide receiver.
It is number 11, Jackson Smith in Jigba.
He's been named the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year by the Pro Football Writers of America. JSN tells the reset that is, with G. Scott. His personal success this season comes back to his ultimate goal, and that is a Super Bowl ring.
Usually when I'm focused on the main thing, everything else, all the accolades and the stuff personally usually comes, I guess, flowing.
Well, JSN and the Hawks can reach the Super Bowl with a win over the LA Rams on Sunday. Kickoff 3:30. You will hear all the action right here on KIRO News Radio. Time for a check on traffic once again, and for that we turn to Chris Sullivan.
And we've added a couple of crashes, Manda, this morning on our drive. One of them not in a very good spot considering what's coming a little bit later on with our congestion. Southbound 405 right at 195th in Bothell. We've got the express toll lane blocked, and we're starting to see a backup there out of Canyon Park, so you're going to need a couple extra minutes already. Already up to 40 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, 35 from Everett to Seattle. The other crash is on westbound Highway 18 getting up the hill from the 167 towards I-5. We've got the right lane blocked there. Not a huge backup yet, but again, that's not in a very good spot. Rest of the map looks pretty good. I mean, we've got some slowing in Sumner, but then 167 is under 40 minutes to make it to 405, and Renton to Bellevue is under 15. 40 minutes or less from Federal Way to Seattle, and the Lake Bridges are still in fine shape. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, it is very foggy in spots again and cold, so watch out for slick spots. So we're going to see more clouds today and a high of only 42. Fog again tomorrow morning, warming up to 46 so far for the weekend, so looks nice. Fog Saturday morning, warming up to 44. Just partly cloudy for game day on Sunday and a high of 45. Right now, it's foggy and 30 in Seattle.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
It's 5:35. A veteran Tacoma police sergeant was terminated last summer. It took a public disclosure request and a 4-month wait to find out why. We turn to KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Tacoma Police released the termination letter in which Tacoma Police Chief Patricia Jackson wrote that Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated after an internal investigation found he had on multiple occasions sent nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. Chief Jackson wrote his behavior was predatory, intentional, repeated, and inconsistent with personal and professional standards, and that it led to a loss of confidence, a breakdown in trust, and a measurable erosion of morale. Retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart.
The people involved still work for that organization. They still have to work there. They still have to go to work every day and face their coworkers. And sometimes that's just embarrassing to do.
In Wimble's termination letter, Chief Jackson also wrote, I read every report, transcript, and document, and listened to each recorded interview. The emotional weight came through in those conversations. People described fear, disappointment, and embarrassment in a way that doesn't come across on paper. Hearing it firsthand made it clear how serious the impacts of your actions are and why real accountability has to follow. Along with a significant impact on the female employees involved, there is also concern about how it impacts the department as a whole.
When officers find out what their leaders are doing, it may be against the law that they shouldn't be doing. It certainly affects the morale.
The internal investigation also found Wimble submitted time cards with falsified signatures. Chief Jackson called that a, quote, serious offense that undermines public trust by preempting the proper review of payroll expenditures, which are made with public funds. Jackson went on to say, we would not hire an entry-level applicant who had engaged in similar conduct, and I cannot justify continuing your employment in light of your actions. Law enforcement experts also note the offense calls into question Wimble's credibility, his honesty, and that could jeopardize cases in which he's been involved. So TPD has notified the Pierce County Prosecutor's Office, and he could be added to what's known as the Brady List, a confidential record maintained by prosecutors of law enforcement officers with histories of misconduct or credibility issues. It stems from the Supreme Court case Brady v. Maryland, which requires disclosing evidence favorable to a defendant, including anything that could impeach a witness's honesty. Former Pierce County elected prosecutor Mark Lindquist.
Defense attorneys can and often will ask for a retrial, a do-over, when Brady evidence is discovered after the fact. Sometimes the judge will think the Brady evidence was significant enough to warrant a retrial. Sometimes they won't.
Tacoma police wouldn't comment for this story, saying the department does not comment on personnel matters. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
It's 5:39. National headlines on the way from CBS. You are listening to KIRO News Radio.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
I really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Subscribe to The Reset, the podcast with me, G. Scott, and Seahawks great Brandon Mebane. New episodes are out every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit maketheconnection.net.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
CBS News Brief. President Trump inaugurates his Board of Peace at Davos and issues an ultimatum to Hamas.
They were born with rifles in their hands, literally born. The first day they had a rifle put into their hands, but they have to give up their weapons. And if they don't do that, it's going to be the end of them.
After wrapping up his meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky, Mr. Trump says the war with Russia has to end. Former Uvalde, Texas school police officer Adrian Gonzalez, first at the scene of the 2022 massacre, has been acquitted of failing to protect the 19 students and 2 teachers killed.
Thank you for the jury for considering all the evidence and making that verdict.
A sprawling winter storm set to move across the country. Meteorologist Craig Allen is keeping track.
You're just going to get this walloping area of snow and ice practically from coast to coast.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Well, no storms around here. The story is the fog and the cold, though, for today. More clouds, 42 the high. It is very foggy to start off the morning. For tomorrow, look for fog early, a little bit warmer, 46 tomorrow. Through the weekend, look for fog in the morning. Our same pattern continues. Cool, mid-40s for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, overnight lows only in the upper 20s. Right now, it's foggy and 30 in Seattle. And coming up, We're going to hear from addiction specialist Ginny Burton. She's been on a 30-year road to recovery and is looking to bring change to the way we treat and help those dealing with addiction through her new book. It's titled The Gabriel Plan, and we're going to hear from Ginny next on Seattle's Morning News.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I wanted to.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Well, I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage too. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I took the First Mark Challenge too, and I'm thrilled to say that First Mark is saving us thousands. Now, that's what I call a victory. You know, I was with the same agent for so long, I simply assumed they were working hard to get me the best coverage and save me money. But it wasn't the case, and you should find out too by taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit, and that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, me included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge right now. It's totally free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Really glad to be joined today by Ginny Burton. She is a person who, first of all, is an addict in recovery, and she has lived experience that I think is so important for our audience to know about. She's out with a new book called The Gabriel Plan. And Ginny, thank you for being here with us today. Really such an amazing story about you. 30 years nearly in active addiction. Yeah. And for the past 13 years, you've been in recovery and you've done such great things with your life. Thank you for being here. Start us off. Tell us about your backstory. I think our audience would be really surprised to learn where you came from.
Yeah, well, first, I would like to thank both of you for having me on. I think it's really important. We have redefined a lot of words. So suggesting that I'm just in recovery, I think, can be a very gray area in our current social narratives. So I've been clean and sober and have overcome a lot of the challenges that are associated with being in active addiction. And I think it's really important to clarify that. And what that means is that I no longer live in submission to any form of mood-changing, mind-altering substance. So I am not on medication-assisted treatment. I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't participate in any kind of drug use. I'm not on psychotropic medications. And I chose that very intentionally. The last time I was arrested, I had an expectation for a long time in that 30-year relationship with drugs that the system would be designed to help me overcome some of the things that I didn't learn how to navigate. And so that's really been the gist of my entire experience. So this last 13 years, I've spent a very significant portion of time trying to strengthen and build a foundation in my own life so that I no longer had to try to escape the things that were very unfamiliar to me.
How old were you when your path to addiction began?
7.
7 years old?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, my mom, she introduced me. She was building the plane as she flew it. I think she lacked in skills herself, and she introduced me and my siblings to marijuana, and my stuff progressed from there. I was in Excel programs when I was a kid, so I was pretty intelligent, but trying to combat the environment of the home when you have domestic violence and drug and alcohol use, with very young parents, I think it's kind of hard to combat, your environment. There was also a significant amount of domestic violence and abuse and things like that that made things a little bit harder.
So what were some of the milestones? You're starting at 7. This is nearly 30 years. What are some of the milestones that you remember that got you to the point where you went into recovery?
Yeah. Well, first at 7, I started smoking marijuana. I didn't want to, but I ended up discovering that it gained me an amount of acceptance. By 5th grade, I remember drinking consensually the first time. By the age of 12, I had tried methamphetamine with my mom. I had also tried cocaine. By the age of 14, I was smoking crack. At 15, I was a full-blown crack addict, had quit school. And between 12 and 13, I was arrested and incarcerated for the first time. And that was the first point of intentional intervention that could have been more intentional. Let's see what happened next. Early 20s, I started doing heroin. Also started going to prison. Again, areas of intervention that could have been a bit more intentional. And, my drug and alcohol use just spiraled from there. So my last prison sentence, I was 38 years old when I went in. My goal was to be clean and sober because my second time going to prison and coming out, I made the decision to stop using drugs, and I got involved with the 12-step program. That's when I moved here to Seattle. And I got involved with Alcoholics Anonymous, was very immersed in that program, and not really knowing how to navigate emotions. When my grandmother died, I relapsed and spiraled out of control for a period of time, which led to my consistent abstinence. So when I was arrested in 2012, I was tired, and it didn't matter what the intervention was going to provide me because I was arrested for the last time at the age of 40. And I made the decision to build my own foundation because I knew that the system was only going to be able to provide me one dimension of what was necessary, which was a break and a separation from the destructive path of drug use and violence and crime and all of those things. And I just used it very intentionally. I absorbed everything that I could. I read things that would help me sort of piece together, a process to learn how to navigate my emotions and all of those kind of things. I got the opportunity to go to drug court. This is back when abstinence was a thing. It's no longer a thing, as I'm sure everybody is aware. But I utilized that entire opportunity, and I built a life that I no longer have to escape from. And here I am today, 13 plus years later, and I am now working to change these very systems so that these interventions are more intentional.
So what is the Gabriel Plan?
Yeah, the Gabriel Plan is a 10-point process to get us out of the situations that we're in. So one of the things that I want to be really specific about is the people that are dying and floundering on the streets are my friends and family. Even the ones that I don't know, we are the same. For anybody that's ever looked at my pictures, I was caught in the throes of an addiction that I could not get out of, that I never wanted to be a part of. And I think it's really important. That's why I started the book with first the call and then a little bit about my story to understand that I am the people that are spiraling out of control, that are being managed long-term on drugs and in industries that are not helping them to progress their lives at all. And everything in this plan is focused on helping people to overcome and to be able to flourish, to utilize our systems in a very intentional way that is cost effective on the taxpayer, that focuses on community safety, that reunifies families with intention, and that utilizes institutions and the tax dollars that are spent that are expected to help people to overcome, actually become good neighbors, strong citizens, working class people, to have autonomy and authority in their life while also strengthening the fabric of our nation.
Jenny Burton, The Gabriel Plan is the book.
That's right.
Important read. It's online right now.
It's on Amazon, and you can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles.
Okay.
I'm really pleased to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Jenny Burton, thanks for being with us on Seattle's Morning News.
Thank you so much.
It is 5:54, and time for a check on our forecast. Chilly start to the day. Once again, you might encounter some slick spots because we have a really thick fog in areas again. We're going to see more in the way of cloud cover for today. We're headed for a high of 42. For tomorrow, fog early on again, warming up to 46, sunshine by afternoon. The weekend looks terrific, albeit a little chilly. Overnight lows Saturday and Sunday only in the upper 20s, with those daytime highs in the mid-40s, but peaks of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. Nice weather for a football game Sunday. It's foggy and 30 in Seattle right now. And coming up in the next hour, a deadly SWAT standoff in Lacey. Also a shakeup at City Hall. Our inbox is always open for your news, tips, and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. DayandNight.net.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the Jed Foundation.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
worry-free warranty.
Which means
when it wears out, we replace it.
no extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life.
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchies.
Worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchies worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Enjoy easy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest financing for 12 months, plus a lifetime installation warranty. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Oscar nominations are out.
No ghosts, no magic. Till now.
Ryan Coogler's Sinners leads the pack with 16 nods. That breaks the old record of 14, first set 75 years ago. One battle after another, scooped up 13.
My child comes from a whole line of revolutionaries. And you look so lost.
Hamnet among the 10 Best Picture nominees.
You touched me. What did you see?
I saw a landscape.
As well as lead actress for Jessie Buckley, her co-star Paul Mescal, snubbed along with Wicked for Good and its stars. The Oscars will be handed out March 15th. President Trump spent his last few hours at the World Economic Forum in Davos with a focus on peace. He inaugurated a board of peace.
To each and every one of you, we are truly honored by your presence today. Leaders of countries, in most cases, very popular leaders. Some cases not so popular, but that's the way it goes.
He met with Volodymyr Zelensky on ending the war with Russia and warned Hamas it must disarm. A massive winter storm is set to tear through state rates from Texas through New York with snow, ice, and frigid temperatures. Meteorologist Craig Allen is keeping an eye on the Northeast.
Especially north of Interstate 78. This is going to be all snow, and there's the potential of at least 6, if not up to 12 inches of snow.
Utilities are bracing for the possibility of massive outages and airports for flight cancellations. The special prosecutor who brought 2 federal indictments against President Trump is scheduled to testify before the House Judiciary Committee today. Jack Smith investigated the president for classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and attempts to overturn the 2020 election. CBS's Torian Small.
What we're likely to see is Jack Smith vehemently defend his handling of this, while Republicans are looking to paint the picture that Smith painted the president as his target and went after him unfairly.
Health officials in Nashville investigating a rare fungal infection that's growing more deadly.
At least one person has died of the rare respiratory infection histoplasmosis, which is caused by breathing in spores of a fungus commonly found in the soil in Middle Tennessee. 35 other people have been sickened. Some of them, like teenager Cammie Carpenter, suspect a large construction site in Spring Hill.
I did try to go on walks, and I don't know if I was walking in the fungus.
State health officials say they're looking at construction sites as a factor, but have not pinpointed the source of the outbreak.
This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's 6:03. Let's head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
And it's very foggy out there again this morning. Visibility is going to be an issue. The heaviest drive now is a shocker right there past Northgate on southbound I-5 with the loss of the express lanes. Already up over 40 minutes from Everett into Seattle. 35 from Everett to Bellevue. We did have a little crash there at 195th and Beardsley. It's out of the way. Northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle. Look for some sort of a stall or maybe a little issue approaching Interurban, 599 there. I haven't been able to see it on my cameras, but my drivers tell me it's there. Federal Way to Seattle, about a 40-minute trip. 40 minutes as well from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue, not too bad. A little slowing past Sunset, about 18-minute drive to get you up into Bellevue. Across the lake, no problem. Olympia to Tacoma, no issues for you guys either. This report brought to you by the Pro Shop. Gear up for the playoffs. Shop postseason gear in store at Lumen Field or at the Landing in Renton.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. At 6:04, police shot and killed a man after a standoff in Lacey yesterday evening.
Independent journalist Steve Hickey went to the scene and filed this report for KIRO News Radio.
Long standoff. It started in the afternoon. A neighbor nearby called saying that there was a person here discharging a weapon and that bullets had flown their direction and gone through their fence. Police showed up, confirmed that's what happened, came over here to try and make contact with the person. At that point, he ran back into the apartment complex, ran back into his unit, and barricaded himself inside. More units showed up. They eventually were able to make some sort of contact with him, I believe, through the phone. He said that he had hundreds of rounds of 9mm, hundreds of rounds of 5.56, and that he had wired the place with explosives in the last 2 weeks that he'd been planning this whole event. At that point, a lot more resources got dispatched. As they continued to talk to him, they also contacted family members, and those family members said that he does have a background in building IED-type explosives. Over the next subsequent hours, he continued to fire his weapon, shooting through walls, shooting through a door. They cleared out the entire complex. However, in the end, he came out that door one last time. There was an exchange of gunfire, and that man is now deceased. It's not clear what led up to this. It sounds like there may have been some sort of emotional component, a recent breakup. What is known is this person's no longer here, and there's going to be a large-scale investigation that most likely will go into tomorrow morning as they bring in outside agencies to help investigate this officer-involved shooting.
That's Steve Hickey reporting. We now know why a veteran Tacoma police sergeant was terminated last year.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch filed a public disclosure request last August, and after multiple delays, the city finally released the records.
In a memo, Tacoma Police Chief Patricia Jackson wrote, TPD Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated last June after an internal investigation found he had sent multiple nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. Chief Jackson wrote his behavior was predatory, intentional, repeated, and inconsistent with personal and professional standards, and that it led to a loss of confidence, a breakdown in trust, and a measurable erosion of morale. The investigation also found Wimbles exhibited unbecoming conduct for allegedly submitting time cards with falsified signatures. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Going for a deputy's gun, a man is seen on body camera in a struggle with a Pierce County Sheriff's deputy.
Hey, let go of my gun. Let go of my gun.
Happened last week at a Tacoma apartment. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley has the story.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office tells me that man had violated a protection order, and they didn't know what situation they were walking into when they got inside that apartment. They say he tried to grab a deputy's gun several times in a struggle so aggressive it knocked off deputies' body-worn cameras, ultimately ending when the suspect took off and jumped off a third-story balcony.
Suspect was treated at the hospital. Nobody else was hurt.
Governor Bob Ferguson is asking President Trump for a major disaster declaration after last month's historic storms and floods.
Governor Ferguson was on the phone with the Federal Emergency Management Agency even as the disaster was unfolding.
We had a good conversation to describe in detail the situation here in Washington State and really the tremendous need that Washington State has for assistance from the federal government.
He's asking for $21.3 million in FEMA assistance for survivors in 10 counties and 15 tribal nations. Nearly 4,000 homes were damaged, more than 100,000 people had to evacuate, and one person died. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The state will make a separate request for money to fix damaged infrastructure next month.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, here we are, Thursday, January 22nd. Welcome to Seattle's Morning News. Amanda, you've got your Seahawks gear on.
The day before, but who's counting?
Yeah. And next time around, we should know how many hours. I think at KIRO 7, they are actually doing the countdown. And we're talking about the NFC Championship game. So excited
That's
for that.
That's what you were talking about?
Seahawks fever.
I'm kidding.
Well, I'm Charlie Harger, Manda Factor. Chris Sullivan is here, bright as a highlighter. Whew. I like it. That's a noticeable shirt you have on.
Well,
there,
when
Chris.
you get dressed in the dark, because sometimes helps light the way to the kitchen.
Right. Love it. Producer David Burbank is in the studio. Nick Krasia is picking the music, running the board, keeping us on the air, which we appreciate, Nick. And Jillian Raftery is our editor this morning.
And this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Coming up, we'll hear from King County Sheriff Patty Cole-Tyndall on new recruitment for the Sheriff's Department, how they deal with ICE, and her priorities going into 2026.
And Sully, what's coming up on your choke point?
Well, we heard from the governor in our newscast. We're going to talk about just how badly the roads were damaged and give you an update on reopening Highway 2 to Leavenworth.
That's coming up. It's 6:09 and the countdown is on. The NFC Championship game is upon us.
The Seahawks taking on a familiar opponent, the LA Rams, one of the league's fiercest rivalries. And the 12s across the Pacific Northwest are getting ready for another unforgettable chapter.
Okay, Luke Ducey is live in studio getting us ready for the big game.
Big, huge game, and we're all nervous. We were talking about it earlier. We are counting down, and the butterflies are accumulating. They're good. Just fly them in formation. That's all you got to do, folks. We'll get there. Hey, all morning long, we are going to be dedicated to the 12s. We're going to tell your stories. We're going to hear from you. We're going to hear about how scared and nervous and excited you are and what this game means to you, whether you are excited or nervous.
Good luck. I'm excited, but I don't want to pop off too much. I'm confident.
I don't think it's going to be easy, and I have a lot of faith in the Seahawks being prepared.
I do too. Some fun facts, and I put these together for Sully because he believes in all this kind of crazy stuff. 12. The number 12. 12 is often called, Sully, the complete number because it divides evenly into many parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. It shows up everywhere. There are 12 months in a year. 12 hours on the clock face, 12 inches in a foot, 12 eggs in a dozen. Sully, did you know that?
But yet 11 players on the field.
I'm so confused.
And we are the 12th man. However, there's only one 12 that really stands out. I recently met David Israel is the youngest season ticket holder in franchise history.
My dad bought the tickets, I think it was July 28th, 1976. I was just about 3 years old.
And he also shared a lot of great memories with us. We're going to be sharing with you all morning long from the biggest Seahawks games. He was there, for instance, in 2013, the NFC Championship, and witnessed Richard Sherman's tip to Malcolm Smith for that game-winning interception.
That play was absolutely amazing. That's one of the top plays ever.
Broken up, picked off. This game is over.
I'm not trying to claim that I'm clairvoyant or anything, but I kind of saw it happening before it happened. But I knew that. I just knew in my heart of hearts that wasn't exactly what happened was going to happen.
And like I said, we are celebrating the 12s this morning. Wait until you hear about his superstitions and his. We're going to take a look too on their YouTube feed, his memorabilia that he's collected over the years. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, though, David shared a lot of Super Bowl memories too. So we've got that coming up for you.
That sounds great, Sully. What were you saying about the predictions this morning? You heard?
Yeah, I was just reading. The predictions are coming out today. I was looking through USA Today, and out of their 6 sports writers, only 2 picked the Seahawks.
They have no idea what they're talking about.
All the games, all of their point spreads were within like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So I don't buy it.
Fans got to show up Sunday, that's for sure. 6:12 now. Let's head over to Nick Allard from KIRO 7 TV. Nick, another cold but dry and foggy morning.
Yeah, it's really foggy again, especially from about Seattle south. Visibility is all like a quarter of a mile right now, and it's going to be that way when you head out. We have cold temperatures as well. So yes, count on fog, count on it being the same thing as the past couple days where you might get a little freezing fog. You might have some slick spots, bridges, overpasses, side roads, and or even your sidewalks. And you're scraping your windshield without a doubt. But after that, well, it's not just going to be another sunny day. Instead, we have more clouds moving in, and there is a weak system offshore. It really won't produce much, but I think it's going to give us maybe a shower or two south and west of, like, say, Elma, McClary, Porter, Montesano. Maybe a sprinkle or two makes it into Shelton or Seattle later this afternoon. But more than anything, it's just fog this morning and cold weather, then mostly cloudy skies and mainly dry this afternoon. After that, though, we get into the low to mid 40s only, and we're back into the upper 40s the next couple of days where you have morning fog, then sunshine tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, we get more clouds and probably that promised, hopefully, rain by Wednesday. But yeah, it's amazing how what you would typically think of for football weather this Sunday, it's so far from it. It's going to be sunny and gorgeous for the game.
You got 30 degrees on your thermometer?
I had 30, and then it went up to 33 at SEA officially.
Where?
Well, I know.
I don't know what that is.
I know. Trust me, I don't either. I'll tell you this much. I still say sometimes on air SeaTac, and I will hear from the airport. I'm not kidding.
All right.
It's Perry Cooper on line 1.
Hi, Perry. Seattle Tacoma International Airport. SEAA.
Rebel.
I don't even know anymore. I want donuts.
Thanks, Nick. 6:14.
All right. Time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Take it away, Sully.
And we're already up to about a 10 or 12-minute delay on southbound I-5 as we work our way down from Shoreline into Northgate. We've got about a 45-minute trip already from Everett into Seattle. Give yourself about 38 from Everett to Bellevue, just some off and on slowing there. Rest of the map, not too bad, even through the dense fog that we have. The Renton S-curves have some braking, but we're under 20 minutes there. Northbound 167 is a little heavy, pulling away from downtown Auburn, working your way up past Emerald Downs. So we're up to about 20 minutes out of Auburn, a little over 40 all the way. Federal Way to Seattle's running right around 42 minutes at this point. Olympia to Tacoma, no problem. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. For nearly 50 years, 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance. Right now, save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Call the comfort people, homecomfortalliance.com.
This is the city's longest running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
Thanks for joining us. And in the studio with us right now is King County Sheriff Patty Cole Tyndall. Just about 4 years in office, serving as the leader of the King County Sheriff's Office. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Sheriff, how has it been 4 years?
I know, right?
A lot has happened.
Wise. Yes.
Well, Happy New Year.
Thank you
for
you
being
too.
here. Look back at 2025 just real quick, put it in a nutshell. What were your big accomplishments, do you think?
Well, one thing I will note is we were able to get what we call 40-40-40. We have about 100-person deficit in our commission ranks. So the 40-40-40 is 40,000 signing bonus, 40 hours of sick leave, and 40 hours of vacation. So trying to attract in-state laterals specifically, because obviously we can get them up and running far more quickly. In addition, allowing them to apply for our specialty assignments as soon as they're off of their training. So we are actually getting a lot. We started this mid-September, and we've had 70 applicants so far. Now, they need to convert to actual bodies, but there's a process, the background check and so forth. But anyway, that to me is one big accomplishment. We did have Operation Safe Transit. That's where we're emphasis with SPD, working collaboratively with them to get the buses and the transit system cleaned up.
You say 70 people have applied. This sounds like a good number. Why do you think that is? Why do people want to come work for your office?
Well, I think the primary reason is because the sheriff's office is so large and we cover so much area, there's a lot of opportunity. So we're seeing people coming from smaller agencies where they just don't have the type of opportunity that we can offer somebody. So that's the primary reason I think people are coming, plus word of mouth. Our current deputies are recruiting their friends who, maybe they went to the academy with or just people they've worked with. And so we're getting those. And we still are getting out-of-state laterals, too, that want to come work for us.
I wanted to ask you about a new crime-fighting tool you have, Rapid DNA Machine. Can you explain that, and how is it working?
So we were finally able to get this machine, which was a long time coming, but it allows us to test very quickly the DNA that we might recover at a crime scene. So it helps us to more quickly identify a suspect and the ability to solve a crime.
Let's talk about crime investigation. You have such a large footprint that King County is a big county.
Yep.
And your investigators, when a major crime has been committed, for example, they can go to a very far-flung place. What kind of challenges does that present, and how do you approach that?
Well, we cover 2,300 square miles. We go up to Skykomish, which we have to go through Snohomish County to get to Skykomish. So it does create a challenge. But, our folks take on vehicles so they're able to respond as quickly as they can, our major crimes people. from their home. They don't have to come into the office to get a car. They can go ahead and go there. We have a lot of people on the ground. Even though we have 100 vacancies, we still have about 700 some that are actually deployable. So they are actually working either in patrol investigations. So we are able to respond and, address the crime.
Well, we continue to watch what's happening in Minneapolis with ICE agents. Can you just kind of spell out the policy for King County when it comes to federal agents?
You bet. So in King County, we do not cooperate with ICE. We are compliant with the Keep Washington Working Act, which basically prohibits law enforcement from working with ICE when it's an administrative matter. Now, when it's a criminal matter and we have an order signed by a judge for a crime, then of course we would comply. But our deputies, the policy is we do not work with ICE. And so that's what I'd say.
Could you give me an example how that works? Just administrative versus criminal? Is there an example of something that's happened that you could maybe help spell it out for us?
Well, administrative warrant, that has to do with whether somebody is documented or not. And for our agency, we do not ask people for papers. We do not ask their status because it does not matter to us, and our policy prohibits that. If there's a criminal matter, right, there's a crime that's been committed, and a certain individual who happens to be undocumented committed that crime, a judge, federal judge, will sign a court order, and that is something that we actually enforce. So administrative is primarily means they are not documented, and we do not assist ICE in those.
On a lighter note, you can see we're all decked out in our Seahawks gear. There's a little football game this weekend. We also have the World Cup matches coming to Seattle. How do you go about tackling security for a big event like that?
So we have been working on FIFA planning for a little over 2 years now. So we knew it was coming, and we have a team of folks that are hooked up with our local FIFA folks plus the federal. There's a White House task force working on FIFA because we aren't the only city that's going to have games. So we are ready. Our primary focus during FIFA is to keep our service areas safe. That is the transit lines, the buses, and the trains to allow the fans to come to and from the stadiums, as well as our contract cities and our unincorporated areas.
Can you maybe talk to me about some of your concerns about security around the King County Courthouse? We of course, had that attack just recently.
Yes.
I know a lot of courthouse employees have spoken to us about their concerns for their safety. Your office is there as well. Could you maybe just tell our audience what those concerns might be?
Yeah, over the past few years, the environment around the courthouse has progressively, I mean, it ebbs and flows, but there are a number of people that I would say are in crisis or unhoused. And we have had a number of county employees or just people coming to the courthouse that have been attacked. So the county council has provided money in some cases, for us to actually have deputies stationed outside the courthouse. These are deputies that are on overtime, but they are there for the safety of the community, and they patrol around the courthouse and then, of course, address anything. Now, obviously, if they are on the other side of the courthouse, like when this woman was assaulted, they're not right there, but they are close by. I do think it has deterred some, negative behavior. I have heard from a number of employees that come to the courthouse every day that they are appreciative for having the deputies there. So we will continue that work through the year and very likely into 27 as well.
Will you please stay in touch with us and come back and visit?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
King County Sheriff Patty Cole Tyndall joining us on Seattle's Morning News.
It's now 6:23. That's time to check traffic. Every 10 minutes we do that, and Chris Sullivan is watching another foggy commute.
And we're already up to close to an hour to make the drive from Everett into Seattle. About a 25-minute delay at this point because of the loss of the express lanes. You hit the brake lights right around the Nile Golf Course there, right at the Edmonds exit. Get a little gap through Shoreline, and then you hit it again right around 145th down to the merge there. Looking at 405 as your primary alternate, it's already up to about 45 minutes from Everett into Bellevue, so a little bit behind schedule, but manageable at this point. Olympia through Lakewood to Tacoma, nice and easy, 35 minutes for you. Little over 40 to run the Valley Freeway from Puyallup to Renton. Heavy in Auburn, but not as bad as it was 10 minutes ago. Renton to Bellevue is about 21 minutes now. We have brake lights up through Sunset before getting better. Better Way to Seattle's running 45 minutes. The Lake Bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by the Seahawks mobile app. Download the app today and keep up with all the action all season long.
Well, I hope you like the weather today with the morning fog, afternoon, clouds, maybe some sun breaks, because it looks like that'll be the pattern through Tuesday now. So it's a nice, long, dry stretch here in the middle of January. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 33.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on preparations ahead of Sunday's NFC Championship game here in Seattle.
And we'll also have the opening bell report. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
For a long time, I thought retirement planning was mostly about hitting a number. Get there, and then life starts. Hi, this is Ursula Royteen. What Trajan Wealth helped me see is that the number is really only part of the story. At Trajan Wealth, their advisors are fiduciaries, which means they're obligated to put your needs first, and they start by asking how you actually want your life to feel. When Mark and I sat down with them, we talked about having more time with family, more time to travel, and how to make thoughtful choices without feeling like we had to put today on hold for tomorrow. I have goals for today and for when I retire. If you're ready to start the new year with straight talk and thoughtful guidance, call Trajan Wealth today and schedule a free meeting. Trajan, spelled Trajan. Call 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have two choices: handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. A barricade situation in Lacey ended with a deadly shootout last night.
Police say it started around 5 o'clock near College Street and 45th. SWAT surrounded the area after reports of a suspect with a gun. Shots were fired between SWAT and the barricaded man. He died at the scene despite life-saving efforts. No officers were hit, no ongoing threat to the public.
Well, it all comes down to this. The Seahawks set to face the LA Rams in the NFC Championship, a rivalry that's delivered drama now for years.
And the 12s are already in full playoff mode. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more to get us ready for the big game.
Yeah, Charlie, Manda, David, Sully, we're all celebrating the 12s today. That's what we're doing. You might notice a lot of things throughout our coverage, especially throughout the day after Seattle Morning News. We're gonna visit with 12s throughout the day, hear their predictions for the game. You might notice in our studio right here, we've got the 12 flag draped across and the revolving Seahawks helmet. I love that. Yeah, so that you look closely at that flag because it has signatures and messages on there from people here at KIRO News Radio. I'm going to take that flag out later today and meet 12s out there in different spots and talk with them about it, get them to sign it, and then we're going to have that flag here or give it to the Seahawks. Holds a lot of power, and many believe, of course, in the number 12, that it also holds special powers.
The universe runs on the power of 12. 12 notes in music, 12 pairs of ribs protecting your heart.
Protecting your heart, Charlie. However,
ribs.
When it comes to fans, I met the super fan, David Israel, not long ago. He is the youngest season ticket holder in franchise history, folks. His dad bought season tickets back in 1976 and put them in his name when he was 3 years old. So he's got a lot of stories, been to a lot of games, including 2 of the 3 Seahawks Super Bowls. In cold Detroit in 2006, he was president of the Seahawks fan club, and he was there when the Hawks lost to the Steelers.
We had these Seahawk flags, and they would not let they'd let us bring in one flag for ourselves. We had boxes of them. We wanted to pass them out to everyone. We weren't going to sell them. We just wanted to pass them out, and they wouldn't let us bring boxes of the flags in, which really upset me. And then, of course, we got in the stadium, and there was terrible towels everywhere, like giving them away everywhere. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Proof that the game was rigged, perhaps. But he also traveled to the Meadowlands in 2013, and right out of the gate, when the Broncos center snapped that ball over Peyton Manning's head for a safety.
It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning.
Oh, God, it felt like a home game. Are you kidding me? From beginning to end.
But a lot of us, even David, we had that healthy lead. You'll remember that, but we were still nervous because of Peyton Manning. David also wasn't convinced.
And Percy Harvin gets free.
So I wasn't fully celebrating until there was about maybe 2.5, 3 minutes left in the game.
He's going to go. Touchdown, Seattle.
I pretty much knew by halftime it was in the bag, but I wasn't going to fully say, all right, we got it until it was right there.
Even with that Percy Harvin kickoff return. Well, the next year he had to bail on his trip to Glendale when the Hawks lost to the Patriots.
Appendix ruptured on me. I had a tube sticking out of my stomach, and I was, stuck in my seat. But as soon as that play happened, I just turned the TV off. I was like, oh, man, that was still to this day, it bothers me.
Tube sticking out of his stomach, and he still watched the game. So many memories from him and other 12s that we're going to be sharing all morning long. Coming up, what does it mean to be a 12 to a super fan like David? We're going to find out at the top of the hour.
All right, Luke. Time to check traffic now. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we do have a crash on northbound 167 just north of the 410 interchange in Sumner that is causing some pretty significant slowing in and around that area. It's also really backing up 410 trying to get to the freeway. So plan on some delays there. This lane that is blocked is the express toll lane there. So plan on delays as you work your way through that. You're already up to 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Then Renton to Bellevue is about 25. Federal Way to Seattle, we're running right around 45 minutes. No issues for you guys. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy at 35-hour drive now from Everett to Seattle. Behind schedule by about 20 minutes because of the slowing that starts in Shoreline, goes all the way down to Northgate. Southbound I-5 from Linwood down through Canyon Park's a little heavy, so it's up to about 45 minutes down into Bellevue. So a little slow there. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, same story. Thick fog in spots this morning and very chilly to start the day. We'll warm up to 42. We're going to stay mostly cloudy for today, but back to some sunshine for your Friday afternoon after the fog lifts. 46 tomorrow through the weekend. We'll see some peaks of sunshine, some fog in the mornings, and highs only in the mid-40s. Overnight lows in the upper 20s. It's foggy and 30 in Seattle right now.
Time now for the opening bell report. The government has released data from its preferred inflation gauge this morning. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has details.
We got a reading on inflation. And this inflation reading does get a little bit more focus because the Fed likes it. It's called the PCE index. And that index was up 2.8% annually. That is higher than the Fed would like. So with that number and other indicators of economic growth, this now puts the Federal Reserve in the spotlight for next week's meeting.
Jill tells us revised GDP numbers show strong growth in the U.S. economy in the third quarter.
One of Seattle's biggest real estate projects is back on track. The two-tower development at 1200 Stewart Street now has a new developer. Its signature feature? A Boeing 747 fuselage connecting the towers 14 feet up off the ground. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports the installation should be finished by late February. The project also includes more than 1,000 apartments, a music venue, and a Trader Joe's.
I'm glad to hear that's back on. I remember doing the report on it several years ago, so that'll be cool to see.
It was stalled by a number of things.
Yeah. Blue Origin blasting into the satellite internet business.
I'm Jillian Raftery. The Kent-based company announced plans for a network called TerraWave. It could include more than 5,400 satellites, most in low Earth orbit. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, launches are expected to start in late 2027. Blue Origin says the service will focus on enterprise and government customers.
All this talk about Greenland has resulted in a couple of unexpected trends. CBS's Chris Mavridis has that.
Like how a lot of people have been looking into buying vacation homes there for some reason. Google searches are up 10,000% since the first week of January. And Realtor.com says headlines about buying Greenland have accidentally spiked real estate interest in Greenland, Arkansas.
For what it's worth, Greenland, the country, really isn't for sale. Americans can build or buy a house there, but only Danish citizens are allowed to own land.
The job site Glassdoor is out with its 100 best places to work in 2026. CBS's Gwen Baumgartner has the story.
Taking the #1 spot is the Indianapolis-based, family-owned Crew Car Wash. The In-N-Out burger chain moved to the #2 spot on the list, which is based on employee reviews. And NVIDIA came in third. Glassdoor says the AI chip maker earns high marks for its transparent leadership and open communication.
Another attempt is made at using AI to generate music. Here's CBS News correspondent Jennifer Kuiper.
A company called 11 Labs has launched the 11 album, the result of a partnership it calls unprecedented with artists like Art Garfunkel. It's not quite that bridge over troubled water sound with which you might be familiar.
Authorship may be trumpeted. It may be declared.
Liza Minnelli's song is more for those who like to dance.
Liza, Liza, Liza.
The company says it partnered with Flesh and Blood artists to co-create original music with its AI-based model for generating what it calls studio-quality compositions. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
The 11 album is available to stream at 11 Labs or on Spotify.
Hear me out. How about Curly releases his AI music album as well? He has so many of the AI songs during the show.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he could make at least $50.
Probably.
Okay. Just looking out for you, John. Taking a look at Wall Street right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average up big, 463 points. S&P 500 is ahead by 53, and the Nasdaq has gained 236.
A word for KIRO 7 News, live starting at 4. It's news that puts you there so you can see for yourself. News that's happening now so you're ready. News that investigates to get you answers. News that's local because where you live matters. No more, no now on KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m.
Sully was coming up in traffic.
We're going to take a look at the crash we have down in the Sumner area that's blocking a lane of 167. Break it down for you next.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
They're really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
It's hiring season at Sky Nursery. Hi, I'm Jen, greenhouse manager here at Sky, where we've been proudly serving Seattle area gardeners since 1953. Sky Nursery is truly a fantasy plant land, but it's also a bustling environment that takes a great team to succeed. Whether you're making coffee, cashiering, or on the sales floor, we're looking for applicants who like to learn, adapt with the seasons, and go home knowing they made a difference in somebody's garden. Spring is fast approaching. Find open seasonal positions and benefits at skynursery.com.
Esta canción que canto, amigos,
Experience the iconic Mexican music group Bronco at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, February 28th at 8 p.m. They've sold more than 20 million albums and performed for audiences all over the world. Now Bronco is bringing their modern take on regional Mexican sound live to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Tickets are on sale now at muckleshootcasino.com.
6:43, Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
And through the fog, we do have a crash to deal with down in the Sumner Puyallup area. It's on northbound 167, just north of the 410 interchange in Sumner. And we're backing up towards the Puyallup River there as you go through Puyallup. Also, 410 really backed up in the westbound direction because of this. So that's added a few minutes to our trip. Puyallup to Renton is running closer to an hour now, so behind schedule by about 15 minutes total. Then Renton to Bellevue, about 28 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 45, so faster than normal. Out of the north end, we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, 50 of those minutes from Linwood. A little bit faster, but not by much. 45 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, make it 50 now, so we do have delays there. The Lake Bridges, though, are still in very good shape. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, we're going to stay pretty chilly for today, a high of only 42. The clouds are going to stick around, very foggy again in spots this morning. Tomorrow, same pattern, you'll see fog early on. However, a little more sunshine again in the afternoon at 46. Tomorrow night is when those overnight lows are going to start being in the upper 20s. That continues through the weekend and peaks the sunshine both Saturday and Sunday with fog in the mornings. Right now, it's foggy and 30 in Seattle.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up?
We're going to take a look at the washed out repair work from the flooding and when we might get Highway 2 open to Leavenworth.
That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
For nearly 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me. John Curley here. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Schedule your free consultation at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people at Home Comfort Alliance.
Hey, Brock Ewart here. It's such a joy for me to be joined by Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I've heard so much about traveling physical therapists. What's that mean to you and IRG?
That's a great question, Brock. Traveling physical therapy right now, I think, is a fad, and a lot of young therapists are doing it, but they're missing opportunities that we provide here at IRG. And those things we provide at IRG are really important, and that's being part of a team and treating patients, building relationships, engaging with our community. That is so important. The other thing is they're not getting paid time off. A crew are paid time off, and they do not get continuing education, professional growth, and that is so important as a young therapist to have access to professional growth. The other thing is we have an enhanced compensation program here at IRG that our physical therapists, our occupational therapists can increase their earnings by engagement, outcomes, and intervention. That's what we're all about. We're about building a great culture for young therapists and all clinicians to work here.
Openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers.
A new year means more than just a clean calendar. It's new goals, opportunities, and fresh momentum for your business. Are you with the right bank to set you up for success? WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, credit cards, lines of credit, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd offers the latest in payment processing and cash flow tools for just the right fit to meet your goals. Plus, WaFd Bank is an SBA preferred lender. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
It's now 6:48. It has been 6 weeks since a series of atmospheric rivers hit our area, causing catastrophic flooding around the state. Well, the Department of Transportation is still working to fix some of the damage.
And Sully is here with the latest on those efforts.
Yeah, we can start to quantify the damage a little bit from these storms now that the time has passed. In fact, Governor Ferguson yesterday announced his FEMA bid through the emergency declaration there. So we're starting to kind of look at this after action a little bit. State Emergency Management Center was open for nearly a month to handle the flooding. That's something that hasn't happened since the pandemic, dealing with that. So that could tell you just how much they were working. So just how bad was the damage to our roads and bridges? Steve Rourke is the Olympic Region Administrator for WashDOT.
We've identified 50, think of these as work orders, emergency work orders. We've identified 50 sites that we are tracking and making repairs at.
That's a staggering number of roads and bridges and things that they are dealing with. These are everything from washouts to undercutting of roads to damaged bridges. Rourke told lawmakers in Olympia this week that the damage will likely come in around $50 million.
The preliminary damage estimate you see there, it is just that. It is an early estimate. We are still incurring costs. We are still compiling the costs, and we have a lot of work left to do. So the $40 to $50 million is just our best guess at this point. I think it's a good educated guess.
Now, most of that money is expected to come from the federal government under the emergency declaration. Many of the damaged areas have been fixed, most of them temporarily, but there are plenty that will still require a lot more time. Now, I want to focus on SR2 because that's where a lot of the significant flooding was and where they hit multiple different spots with damages, like between Skycomish and Leavenworth primarily. That section of highway remains closed, of course, from Coles Corner down to Leavenworth. Rourke says about 600 feet of SR2 was buried just east of Skycomish by up to 10 feet of debris, and long-term repairs won't be addressed until this summer.
About a 3-mile section of US 2 in the eastbound direction, the shoulder was completely undermined. About 40 drainage culverts were plugged and in bad shape.
East of Stevens Pass, 3 miles of the highway was washed out in some way. Now, the lanes are now open from the pass to Coles Corner, but again, permanent repairs will be needed later this year. US 2 remains closed from Coles Corner down to Leavenworth. Shoulder and the driving lane was washed out in 16 different spots over those 14 miles. WashDOT needs to bring in large boulders to rebuild the sides of the highway, but Rourke hopes to have some access returned before spring.
We're letting another contract very soon to make the permanent repairs. We anticipate having this segment of US 2 reopened by March. But there's just a lot of work left to do to get that accomplished.
So that drive from basically I-5 to Leavenworth, hopefully restored by March. Better than nothing, but still a long time to go. Long-term repairs, of course, also need to be completed because it's snowing up there, and they can't do a lot of the work. They're all doing basically Band-Aiding what they can. Other roads damaged by the storms will have to wait for repairs. For example, we talked a little bit about reopening US 2 through Natchez. No estimates for that because the work that they were doing to prevent the damage and erosion was put on hold last month because of environmental reviews. They have to go through more red tape in order to go and continue the work there.
The emergency work?
The emergency work, they are caught up in environmental red tape on that. So, again, good luck for you folks trying to get through Natchez. But, yeah, it was a rough, I think we're finally starting to get a good handle on just how bad those storms were and how historic.
I can't believe the Tumwater Canyon situation, and it's so weird that I was there that's where we stayed, in Tumwater Canyon, just a week before these storms hit.
Yeah, and as I said, 16 different spots washed out on that 14-mile stretch between there and Coles Corner. And again, that's a beautiful drive. If people haven't done it, they're through the canyon, back and forth, the water. Yeah. But yeah, that's in serious shape.
What does this mean for the state DOT's budget? You know, you've talked every year about how we're millions and millions and millions behind just in basic maintenance.
Well, and hearing from the WashDOT folks that follow the money, with an emergency declaration, they usually can expect to get up to 80% of the funding from the feds. The FEMA declaration allows them to get more. That FEMA doesn't cover, there's different pots and different things you have to go through. So if there was not a declaration, WashDOT would have to eat that directly out of maintenance.
And there's no guarantee the president is going to sign this declaration.
Not necessarily, but so far they believe when it comes to a natural disaster, things like this, they think they're good, at least what they told lawmakers. But yeah, so if it wasn't under a disaster declaration, again, that would come straight out of the maintenance budget.
And just roughly, how far behind are we in terms of the maintenance in general?
About $1 billion a year is how little we focus on that, is over what we should be doing just to preserve what we have. We spend about 800 to 900 million a year, where we need to be spending about $2 billion.
Okay. Well, that'll turn out well.
All right. We still have a couple of seconds here before traffic stand by, but I wanted to ask you, what are the best new vehicles for your money?
U.S. News & World Report's taking a look at their top vehicles of the year, then looking at which ones were good bargains. Of their 20 categories, editor Alex Quatten says 7 were led by Kia.
They haven't forgotten that, the basic core value of the brand is we sell a pretty good vehicle at a low price.
Ford was honored for their Expedition and F-150. The Chevy Equinox EV was the best compact electric utility for the money. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
6:53 now, time for traffic on the threes. Chris is watching the roadways.
And we are really struggling getting out of Bonnie Lake through Sumner, getting up to 167 because of a crash on northbound 167 just north of the 410 interchange there. It's been blocking the express toll lane. And so we're bumper to bumper basically from Winco all the way down to 167. For those of you that know that area, that's at least a 15-minute delay. Eastbound 512 also kind of caught up in this a little bit. So that's adding to our RPL up to Renton Drive, which was already about 30 minutes out of Auburn, so give yourself over an hour to make that drive all the way into Renton. Then Renton to Bellevue, about 28 minutes, actually not too bad. Federal Way to Seattle is 50 minutes, so it's faster than normal by about 10 minutes. And then we have about an hour and 10-minute trip for both Everett to Seattle, Everett to Bellevue, both of those drives running right around 20 minutes behind schedule. That's because of all the slowing we have with the loss of the express lanes. Across the lake, we have no issues. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. You can text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio app, listen to your favorite shows, get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
We're seeing very thick fog in areas again this morning, and it's cold, so watch out for slick spots. It's going to be a little bit more cloudy today than it has been, but only 42 for the high. Tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, same pattern. Fog in the mornings, we're back to a little bit more sunshine in the afternoon hours. Highs only in the mid-40s and overnight lows only in the upper 20s. Right now, it's foggy and 30 in Seattle.
Coming up in the next hour, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with preparations for the NFC Championship game on Sunday. And we'll hear from author and addiction specialist Ginny Burton about her long road to recovery, how she wants to change the way we look at addiction. That's coming up at 7:15.
This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
I don't typically make New Year's resolutions, but this year I need a change. I need to get healthy, work out, lose some weight, and get back on track. But figuring out what to eat is my biggest issue. I need to eat the right food so that I stay full and have energy all day long. I know the solution: Omaha Steaks. Starting the year strong is easier and more delicious with premium portioned proteins from Omaha Steaks. From handcrafted USDA certified tender steaks to gourmet burgers, versatile chicken and pork, seafood, and more. They have an unmatched variety of high quality proteins that everyone loves. And when you deserve that cheat day, and we all do from time to time, they also offer desserts and easy to prepare comfort food. Support your fresh start with high-quality proteins from Omaha Steaks. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with promo code SKY at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code SKY. Terms apply. See site for details.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
D.C. politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory is a little different. We actually reach out to the small business world, to Joel Taylor and Sean O'Donnell from Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants. Sean, when Joel brought this to you, the idea of why don't we take this First Mark Challenge victory, what was your thought?
My goal was to save some money and to simplify our operations. We've got 6 locations now, and along with that comes complications. And when things get complicated, things that are important get forgotten. First Mark was able to simplify that and also save us money.
Not only have they saved us money, they helped us identify some blind spots in our policies. Their service team has been phenomenal, unparalleled in my experience, given us a lot more solutions with better coverage, and just made too much sense.
First Mark's just made it easy for us.
So if you're a business owner and your insurance is in need of simplifying and streamlining and eliminate the stress, do what Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants did. Reach out to First Mark Insurance. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance, your teammate in the business world too, going to work for you.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Republicans on Capitol Hill are about to grill former Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith on 2 criminal investigations into President Trump during his last presidential campaign. One on those classified documents stored at Mar-a-Lago. The other attempts to overturn the 2020 election.
The former career federal prosecutor is expected to say, quote, "I have no partisan loyalties. My career has been dedicated to serving our country by upholding the rule of law." He'll say he wants to correct what he calls false and misleading narratives about his work. And while there's much he'll say he cannot publicly discuss because of court orders and the sensitive nature of some of the government documents at issue, Smith is planning to say, quote, "Trump was charged because the evidence established that he willfully broke the very laws that he took an oath to uphold." Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump's just wrapped up a last item on his agenda at the World Economic Forum in Davos, a meeting with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky.
The meeting was good with President Zelensky. We'll see how it turns out. A lot of people being killed. We hope it's going to end. A lot of people being killed. Last month they had 30,000 people killed. 30,000, mostly soldiers. And it's really a war that has to end.
Zelensky characterizes their dialogue as not simple. New record for Oscar nominations.
No ghosts. No magic.
The vampire epic Sinners leads the pack with 16, breaking the old record of 14, first set 75 years ago. Fandango's Eric Davis.
Fantastic story for an original film, box office sensation, pop culture sensation, best reviewed film of the year on Rotten Tomatoes, also the audience favorite of the year.
One battle after another's next with 13 nominations.
Rise and shine.
Got an eyelash.
Snubs, Paul Mescal for Hamnet and Wicked for Goods, Ariana Grande. The murder rate is down sharply in dozens of states. CBS's Michael Wallace.
A new study from the Independent Council on Criminal Justice says homicides were down 21% from 2024. They were down 40% in Washington, D.C., and 22% in New York. Of the 13 types of crimes the council tracked, 11 were down, including carjackings, aggravated assaults, and shoplifting.
New delayed government numbers out on the final estimate of GDP growth in the third quarter. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
We saw an increase of 4.4% of economic growth from the second quarter. What powered this increase was a jump in consumer spending, a rise in exports, and a rise in government spending.
The Dow is up 304 points. This is CBS.
I'm Major Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
7:03 now. Let's check traffic every 10 minutes on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we've just added a brand new crash on southbound I-5 right at 128th in South Everett. Not a very good spot. We have at least 3 lanes blocked at this point, trying to get more information, but we got pretty much go to an all-stop right around 112th heading south. Once you're through that, you have the typical heavy day of about an hour drive from Linwood down to Seattle or down to Bellevue with what you guys have gotten used to there. Rest of the map, still dealing with this crash on northbound 167 past the Sumner interchange. We have the brake lights there in the express toll lane, and so we are bumper to bumper there right around that area. Westbound 410 backed up from Winco as you're trying to go from Bonnie Lake down into Sumner and continue on. And then you've got about an hour drive from Puyallup to Renton, maybe a little bit more because it's 30 minutes out of Auburn. Renton to Bellevue, under 30 minutes, so not bad. The lake bridges are good, so is the drive from Olympia to Tacoma. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. For nearly 50 years, 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance. Right now, save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Call the comfort people, homecomfortalliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. A person is dead after exchanging gunfire with SWAT in Lacey.
We get more from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
It happened Wednesday evening near College Street and 45th. Police say the suspect barricaded themselves inside the apartment with a gun. SWAT moved in and shots were fired. That suspect died despite attempts to save them. No officers were injured and investigators are now handling the case. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
We now know why a Tacoma police sergeant was terminated last year.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch filed a public disclosure request last August, and after multiple delays, the city finally released the records.
In a memo, Tacoma Police Chief Patricia Jackson wrote, TPD Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated last June after an internal investigation found he had sent multiple nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. Chief Jackson wrote his behavior was predatory, intentional, repeated, and inconsistent with personal and professional standards, and that it led to a loss of confidence, a breakdown in trust, and a measurable erosion of morale. Retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart agrees.
The people involved still work for that organization. They still have to work there. They still have to go to work every day and face their coworkers. And sometimes that's just embarrassing to do.
The investigation also found Wimbles exhibited unbecoming conduct for allegedly submitting time cards with falsified signatures. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Federal agents say they've busted a drug and firearms trafficking ring in Marysville. Operation involved both Border Patrol and Homeland Security investigations. They have not yet released how many people were arrested or what was recovered. We have reached out for more details.
The U.S. has taken custody of 37 Mexican nationals accused of cartel-linked crimes. The Justice Department calls it the largest transfer under Mexico's national security law. Among those handed over to the U.S. is Jose Luis Sanchez Valencia, who's expected to be prosecuted here in Washington. The DOJ says the defendants face charges ranging from major drug trafficking to firearms and money laundering offenses.
Seattle Public Schools says there was no ICE activity near campuses Tuesday. Several schools sheltered in place out of caution. Seattle Times reports parents and teachers told the school board the move caused anxiety. The district says it remains alert to community concerns.
Banning former immigration agents from serving as police officers. That's what a newly filed bill in the state legislature would do. House Bill 2641 would prohibit law enforcement agencies from hiring anyone who was hired as a sworn officer with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on or after January 20th of 25. It's sponsored by two House Democrats, Tara Simmons of Bremerton and Sean Scott of Seattle. Simmons says hiring former ICE officers would erode trust within police agencies. The bill was filed yesterday. It's new. It is not yet scheduled for a hearing.
7:07.
keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. It is 7:07. It's Thursday, January 22nd. He's Charlie. I'm Manda.
This is why you have to watch the YouTube feed.
Even Luke was just rocking out.
Yeah. Because here's what's happening. If you're watching the feed, first of all, Sully's rocking out, Luke's rocking out. We've got the 12 flags splayed across the table here.
But the coolest thing is the spinny helmet.
Seahawks helmet there.
And Bad Company. I used to listen to that song on a cassette player going to high school every morning.
Me too.
Didn't date ourselves at all.
It is 7:08. We have a big hour in front of us. We have the big NFC Championship game to talk about. 3:30 on Sunday. That's going to air right here on KIRO News Radio.
Can't wait. Trip to the Super Bowl is on the line. No easy road to get there. The Seahawks and the LA Rams collide in that championship game with a bitter rivalry and everything at stake.
12s are ready to bring the noise, shake the stadium, and push Seattle to the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey here with more as the countdown to kickoff begins.
Kickoff 3:30 this Sunday, and already the butterflies are swirling. I know they are for us in the studio. I'm sure they are for a lot of you listening, all of you 12s out there, and that's why we are celebrating you this morning, the 12s, about that flag that you're seeing in our studio. And check out on the YouTube feed. That has got signatures from just about everyone here in our studio right now, but it's some others. Gina Ursula, John Curley, they've all signed this flag, and what we're going to do with that is take it out to all the 12s this afternoon and get them to sign it, hear their stories. What does it mean to be a 12? How y'all feeling about the game? Nervous? Yeah?
It's kind of like the divisional where I'm more nervous as each day goes by.
Yeah.
I started off really confident after Saturday's game, and now I'm sort of getting a little more anxious about it.
So our other 12s.
I'd say looking forward to seeing you, and I hope you bring your good game because they're going to be bringing a good game back to you.
They're too overconfident. You know, they're acting like they're going to get to the Super Bowl and they were going to beat us.
Yeah, some strong messages for the Rams fans and the Rams there. You know, 12 is often seen as a lucky number. Did you all know that? In numerology, 12 combines 1, leadership, and 2, partnership, suggesting leadership supported by others. And of course, 1 plus 2 is what? It's 3.
Yeah, that's a magic number.
We also want to celebrate the 12s inside the studio here. What does it mean to be a 12 for you all? Amanda, you're a season ticket holder. It's powerful.
It's just camaraderie. It's so nice to have people come together and support one thing and be really loud and proud about it.
And what I love about the Seahawks and the way this community comes together, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, doesn't matter if you're a Republican. Everybody at that game is cheering on the Hawks, and that's what really matters.
And they're high-fiving and they're hugging as well. You know, well, I just met the ultimate 12, a super fan, David Israel. He is the youngest season ticket holder in franchise history.
My dad bought the tickets, I think it was July 28th, 1976. I was just about 3 years old.
So I asked him, what does it mean for him to be a 12 after all these years, all these great games he's seen?
To be a fan of the Seahawks is, as far as I'm concerned, unlike being a fan of any other team. It's something really special about it, especially, you know, when you're down at the games around with the rest of the fans. It's just like one big family. Everybody loves everyone.
Yeah, they sure do. And of course, he's seen a lot of ups and some downs over the years. Like, we've got to go through it, guys. Super Bowl 49 against the Patriots.
Intercepted at the goal.
We don't have
the
to
only
go through
time.
that.
It's the only time this morning.
I couldn't even give away my tickets. I begged friends to go with me. I'd be like, "Come on, I'll buy you a beer." They're like, "I don't want to go to that." But it's been a wild ride, man. And I'm super excited about what the future holds for the Hawks.
Just wanted to show there were ups and downs, and David, you know, since
we always bounce back.
Yeah. And as you might imagine, though, he also over all these years he has the collection of memorabilia, and I've got photos to share on the YouTube feed as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about next half hour. Stick around, folks, for that. 7:30. Proud to be a 12 today, aren't we? And we cannot wait for kickoff on Sunday at 3:30.
You know, Amanda, he's been doing this numerology stuff with 12.
Yeah.
Sully, what used to be the speed limit?
In my mind, is
You couldn't
whatever
drive
you
it?
could. It was 55.
So 55 and 12 is?
I don't know, 6'7".
Oh, Charlie, you had to go there.
I did.
Hey, I want to encourage you to stick with us. Jenny Burton has been on a long road to recovery. She's planning to bring change to the way we treat and help those dealing with addiction. She's going to talk with us about her experience and her new book, The Gabriel Plan, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
That's coming up after we get a check on the weather. Joining us live is KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard. A really dry stretch in front of us, Nick.
Yeah, we're working on that stretch. I think if we get through Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we may have the longest January dry stretch, but that's actually a pretty good possibility. It does look like we'd see some rain by as early as, say, Wednesday, but today's rain, it's barely, if you even want to call it that, it's not going to do much. The idea is this morning we have fog out there and quite a bit again, especially from around Seattle south, and you have some isolated patchy spots like Bellingham, for example, where you're seeing some fog, or a little bit in, say, Arlington, but it's just not as widespread north like it was yesterday. Now, from here, we also have clouds increasing, and the clouds increasing will eventually lead to the fog lifting and maybe a couple of sprinkles around areas south and west of Puget Sound, so you can go like Shelton, for example, Ocean Shores, Hoquiam, the entire coast. But then if you're inland, it might be like Montesano, that area. But don't be shocked if you have a raindrop or two later. But it would be that. It would be a raindrop this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, low 40s. Tomorrow, it's morning fog, afternoon sun. Our temps don't get spectacularly warm or anything, but 44, 45, 46 each day, and plenty of sunshine through the Hawks game. You get a little more cloud cover Monday, Tuesday, and then we'd see some rain returning by Wednesday. But sunshine and sunshine and sunshine. I heard that there was a video of Coach McDonald talking about, hey, we're going to host an NFC Championship game in a couple years or whatever it is. And, hey, it's going to be cold and rainy. He got everything right but that. It'll be sunny this weekend. And I did file a grievance, by the way, because he needs to pay dues to be able to talk about the weather.
Yeah.
He knows that. He knows better.
He should check with Nick first because Nick knows.
Obviously. But he can say whatever he wants as long as they win. You can have one of my kids, you can name my kid something else if he wants. He can change Brady's name to whatever he wants if they decide to win the Super Bowl. It's up to him.
Okay, we'll let him know. Right now in Seattle, it's 33.
And time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. What's up, Sully?
Well, we're struggling again out of Snohomish County, but it's not exactly all because of the loss of the express lanes. We have this crash up in the South Everett area right at 128 where the HOV lane is blocked and a little bit of the left general purpose lane. And so we're backing up to the Boeing Freeway. So we have that to deal with before we even get down to Linwood. So we're looking at 90-minute trips now from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So behind schedule by at least 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit more. For I-5, though, through that loss of the express lanes, we really don't hit the brakes today until you're south of 175th, which is actually pretty good. It extends all the way down to the U District. Southbound 405 struggling in the normal way that it does. Rented to Bellevue's got about a half an hour drive. Valley Freeway still seeing some slowing out of Sumner as they work to clean up this crash in the express toll lane. Northbound 167 just past 410. And the Federal Way to Seattle Drive is running right about an hour. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Really glad to be joined today by Jenny Burton. She is a person who, first of all, is an addict in recovery, and she has lived experience that I think is so important for our audience to know about. She's out with a new book called The Gabriel Plan. And Jenny, thank you for being here with us today. Really such an amazing story about you. 30 years nearly in active addiction.
Yeah.
And for the past 13 years, you've been in recovery and you've done such great things with your life. Thank you for being here. Start us off. Tell us about your backstory. I think our audience would be really surprised to learn where you came from.
Yeah, well, first, I would like to thank both of you for having me on. I think it's really important. We have redefined a lot of words. So suggesting that I'm just in recovery, I think, can be a very gray area in our current social narratives. So I've been clean and sober and have overcome a lot of the challenges that are associated with being in active addiction. And I think it's really important to clarify that. And what that means is that I no longer live in submission to any form of mood changing, mind altering substance. So I am not on medication assisted treatment. I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't participate in any kind of drug use. I'm not on psychotropic medications. And I chose that very intentionally. The last time I was arrested, I had an expectation for a long time in that 30-year relationship with drugs that the system would be designed to help me overcome some of the things that I didn't learn how to navigate. And so that's really been the gist of my entire experience. So this last 13 years, I've spent a very significant portion of time trying to strengthen and build a foundation in my own life so that I no longer had to try to escape the things that were very unfamiliar to me.
How old were you when your path to addiction began?
7.
7 years old.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, my mom, she introduced me. She was building the plane as she flew it. I think she lacked in skills herself, and she introduced me and my siblings to marijuana, and my stuff progressed from there. I was in Excel programs when I was a kid, so I was pretty intelligent, but trying to combat the environment of the home when you have domestic violence and drug and alcohol use. With very young parents, I think it's kind of hard to combat, your environment. There was also a significant amount of domestic violence and abuse and things like that that made things a little bit harder.
So what were some of the milestones? You're starting at 7.
Mhm.
This is nearly 30 years. What are some of the milestones that you remember that got you to the point where you went into recovery?
Yeah. Well, first at 7, I started smoking marijuana. I didn't want to, but I ended up discovering that it gained me an amount of acceptance. By 5th grade, I remember drinking consensually the first time. By the age of 12, I had tried methamphetamine with my mom. I had also tried cocaine. By the age of 14, I was smoking crack. At 15, I was a full blown crack addict, had quit school. Um, and between 12 and 13, I was arrested and incarcerated for the first time. And that was the first point of intentional intervention that could have been more intentional. Um, let's see what happened next. Early 20s, I started doing heroin. Also started going to prison. Again, areas of intervention that could have been a bit more intentional. And, my drug and alcohol use just spiraled from there. So my last prison sentence, I was 38 years old when I went in. My goal was to be clean and sober because my second time going to prison and coming out, I made the decision to stop using drugs and I got involved with the 12-step program. That's when I moved here to Seattle. And I got involved with Alcoholics Anonymous, was very immersed in that program, and not really knowing how to navigate emotions. When my grandmother died, I relapsed and spiraled out of control for a period of time, which led to my consistent abstinence. So when I was arrested in 2012, I was tired. And it didn't matter what the intervention was going to provide me because I was arrested for the last time at the age of 40. And I made the decision to build my own foundation because I knew that the system was only going to be able to provide me one dimension of what was necessary, which was a break and a separation from the destructive path of drug use and violence and crime and all of those things. And I just used it very intentionally. I absorbed everything that I could. I read things that would help me sort of piece together, a process to learn how to navigate my emotions and all of those kind of things. I got the opportunity to go to drug court. This is back when abstinence was a thing. It's no longer a thing, as I'm sure everybody is aware. But I utilized that entire opportunity and I built a life that I no longer have to escape from. And here I am today, 13 plus years later. And I am now working to change these very systems so that these interventions are more intentional.
So, what is the Gabriel Plan?
Yeah, the Gabriel Plan is a 10-point process to get us out of the situations that we're in. So one of the things that I want to be really specific about is the people that are dying and floundering on the streets are my friends and family. Even the ones that I don't know, we are the same. Um, for anybody that's ever looked at my pictures, I was caught in the throes of an addiction that I could not get out of, that I never wanted to be a part of. And I think it's really important. That's why I started the book with first the call and then a little bit about my story to understand that I am the people that are spiraling out of control, that are being managed long-term on drugs and in industries that are not helping them to progress their lives at all. And everything in this plan is focused on helping people to overcome and to be able to flourish, to utilize our systems in a very intentional way that is cost effective on the taxpayer, that focuses on community safety, that reunifies families with intention, and that utilizes institutions and the tax dollars that are spent that are expected to help people to overcome, actually become good neighbors, strong citizens, working class people, to have autonomy and authority in their life while also strengthening the fabric of our nation.
Jenny Burton, The Gabriel Plan is the book.
That's right.
Important read. It's online right now.
It's on Amazon, and you can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles.
Okay.
I'm really pleased to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Jenny Burton, thanks for being with us on Seattle's Morning News.
Thank you so much.
It's 7:23. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes, and Chris Sullivan has his hands full again.
And yes, I do. And we've got hour and 40-minute trips now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. About 40 minutes longer than it should take, and it's not all because of the express lane. So we have a pretty lengthy backup to get through in South Everett before you even get to the Linwood split. The HOV lane is blocked right around 128th, and we're backed up all the way to the Boeing Freeway. After that, it's a nice long freeway speed drive till you get to Linwood for 405. Then it bogs down. For I-5, the drive continues to be pretty good all the way down to about 175th and Shoreline, and then you start hitting the really heavy brake lights there. So a lot more of the braking further north than it is through what we've been used to. Westbound across the trestle, relatively normal. Lake Bridges still in very good shape. Federal Way to Seattle running just under an hour, so about 10 or 12 minutes faster than normal. Valley Freeway, it looks like we have cleared the crash on northbound 167 getting out of Sumner. There it was in the express toll lane, so 410 is getting a little bit better. Eastbound 512 is as well. Still have an hour drive to go from Puyallup to Renton, and then Renton to Bellevue is about 35 minutes. So the drive out of the north end it's going to be another tough one today. This report brought to you by the Seattle Seahawks. Head to Seahawks.com/tickets and secure your playoff seats today.
Taking a look at the forecast, fog burns off afternoon. It'll be partly cloudy, high in the upper 40s, and we stay dry through the next several days with overnight lows below freezing. Foggy starts to the day, partly sunny afternoons at least through Tuesday. Right now it's 33 in Seattle.
And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has more on the NFC Championship game and what's coming up in the 7:35 commentary.
We deserve to see the prices on the menu before we get stuck with the check. I'll explain that at 7:35.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
And a word here for boss retirement. Let's be honest, saving for retirement is hard. It takes years of discipline, sacrifice, saying no to things you probably wanted to say yes to. So if you've managed to put away $300,000 or more, that's a real accomplishment. And the last thing you want to do is hand more of it over to the IRS, and you have to. But here's what a lot of people don't realize. Taxes could be your single biggest expense in retirement. Taxes on your IRA, your 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security, taxes on your investment incomes. It all adds up fast. That's why I want to tell you about the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. They offer a free, customized retirement tax savings analysis. No cost, no obligation. They will show you strategies that could significantly reduce what you owe, so more of your hard-earned money stays with you. Boss has 2 locations here in the Seattle area. Give them a call, 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350. You have worked too hard to overpay in taxes when you retire. 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
For almost 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me, John Curley here. If comfort and energy savings matter to you, now is the time. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Home Comfort Alliance will replace your system with one tailored to your home's layout and energy optimization. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com to save up to $2,000 on a Lennox and schedule a free consultation. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Hey there, Don Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. It's 7:31. The city of Lakewood was hit yesterday with a federal $26 million wrongful death lawsuit. It involves a high-speed chase that ended in the death of a 57-year-old father of 7. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with the story.
It happened in 2023. According to the lawsuit, the case involves a high-speed pursuit between Lakewood officers and 2 juvenile robbery suspects. That pursuit ended in the death of commercial truck driver Bowden Vetrov. Former Pierce County prosecutor Mark Lindquist represents the family.
Lakewood officers ignored their own departmental policies, ignored state law, and ignored common sense.
We've reached out to the city of Lakewood for comment, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
7:32 now, and the road to the Super Bowl runs straight through a rivalry. Seahawks and Rams clash in the NFC Championship game across Puget Sound. 12s are counting down the hours. 68 hours, by the way, if anyone's counting. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more to get us all ready for the big game.
Yeah, just see the YouTube feed just right there. We're all about the 12s this morning. I'm telling you, we got the 12 flag out. What we're doing is collecting signatures from everyone here at KIRO News Radio. We're also collecting signatures from all the 12 fans today. Hey, today is all about celebrating you, your passion for the Hawks, and coming together for Sunday's big game kickoff, 3:30 on Sunday. You know, the term 12th man dates back to the early 1900s. Did you know that? Many think a student at Texas A&M was called down to the stands to suit up because the team was so depleted, and that's how it got started. It's grown from there. We have liked to call ourselves the 12th man, refer to us as fans. Sully, they sued us. The school did at one point.
Yeah, Texas A&M sued us for a long time for using our we were using 12th man. And that's why we're now referred to, we can say the 12s or the 12th fan. Can't say man. 12th man, that was their deal, and it was a copyright, and they won.
We're too pretty to get sued. We don't want that to happen.
That's right. We've all got great hair, don't we? Seahawks hair. But here's the deal. You know, Texas A&M, okay, they may be the 12th man, but if you're watching on our YouTube feed, I'm just going to say this. They also invented this. Have you seen their cheer squad?
Okay. People are mostly driving right now, Luke, and they don't see these guys in their overalls and they're dancing at the 50-yard line. We don't have to watch this.
No, we shouldn't.
Okay.
You should go back and watch it, though. And
12s in Seattle, much better.
And be careful to some of the videos you'll find of their cheer squad. They don't say the nicest things throughout history,
Probably invented this in the 1900s
you get a little trouble with that as well.
Well, we are featuring a super fan, a Super 12 this morning. David Israel's dad bought season tickets back in 1976, and he put them in David's name. Listen to this.
My dad bought the tickets, I think it was July 28th, 1976. I was just about 3 years old.
And over the years, he's been to about every home game. In 2006, he was presented the Seahawks Ultimate Fan Award. He's been there for all the big plays like these during the 2014 NFC Championship against the Green Bay Packers, the onside kick, Marshawn's touchdown, and the 2-point conversion.
Good kick up into the air. It's loose and covered by Seattle. Here's Lynch. Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode. Touchdown. Wilson out to his right. In big trouble. Up for grabs. And caught.
Yeah, unbelievable. Oh, cut that short a little bit for you. But over these years, David has collected quite a bit of memorabilia as well. We've got photos on our YouTube feed of some of the things that he has in his collection. There are a couple of Weehawks in there, but he also talked about all the things that he just cherishes.
I have a little model of the Kingdom. I love the new stadium, but I still miss coming around that bend on I-90 and not seeing the Kingdom. One of my other favorite things is the original Seahawks outfit, the little dancing man who sings the Monday Night Football song. I still have a bottle that the front office gave me when we won that championship game, a bottle of champagne engraved. I got a 12 neon sign in the living room. I got my Seahawk flags flying high and proud. And yeah, I got my Seahawk cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock right there. Hey, coming up at the top of the hour. Curious about what superstitions a super fan has. We're going to share those superstitions from David as well. But great to talk with him. And go 12s. He's going to get us excited about the game coming up this weekend.
All right, Luke. Time to check traffic now. Here's Sully.
Hour and 40-minute trips, maybe a little bit more now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Because of a crash we have in South Everett, about 4-mile backup now to 128th where the HOV lane has been blocked. They just reopened the HOV lane, but they're still over on the left shoulder. Then on I-5, the backup is not as bad as it could be. You get all the way down to about 145th. 5th before it really starts bogging down. It's much worse on 405 today. Lake Bridge is still good. Renton to Bellevue is about 35 minutes. Valley Freeway under an hour, and we're under an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2. Weather forecast today, we're going to see clouds again once this fog burns off. Not as much sun as we saw yesterday. High topping out only right around 40 degrees. Right now outside the KIRO News Radio studios, we have 32 degrees and fog.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. If you feel like you've seen this movie before, you're not crazy. Rewind to this time last year. Governor Ferguson spent months saying he was opposed to raising taxes. He talked about belt tightening. He talked about program cuts. Then in the final moments of the session, the legislature passed the largest tax increase in state history. Fast forward to today. We are in week 2 of a short 60-day session, and we're right back at the same spot. We spoke with Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard yesterday. He told us the income tax proposal is hogging all the oxygen in Olympia right now, and he obtained a copy of rough draft number 4 of the budget. It's 47 pages long. It's complicated, and if last year is any guide, we won't see the final version until the clock is running out. But the income tax is just one item on the menu, and there's a lot cooking in Olympia right now. The governor wants to close corporate tax exemptions worth about $145 million. There's talk of a millionaire's tax that would impose a 9.9% rate on income over $1 million. That would generate $3.5–4 billion a year. But the money wouldn't start flowing until 2029, so it does nothing for the current shortfall. There's even a provision in one draft to tax visiting professional athletes, a jock tax. Some of these ideas might be reasonable, some might not. That's not really my point. My point is that you and I have almost no ability to weigh in on any of it. The 60-day session is a pressure cooker by design. Lawmakers are juggling dozens of proposals. Drafts are circulating among lobbyists and insiders, but the public, we are on the outside looking in. And when the final package drops in the final 2 weeks, there's no time to read it, no time to call your representative, no time to organize any kind of response. It just happens. I've said this before, state spending has more than doubled in just over a decade. That's not inflation. That's not population growth. It's new programs stacked on top of old programs with no realistic plan to pay for them. We passed a $9 billion tax increase last year, and we're already coming up short again. If the majority party wants to pass an income tax, well, I guess they have the votes. That's how elections work. But this process where billion-dollar decisions get made in the final hours of a compressed session is a transparency problem baked into the system itself. We deserve to see the prices on the menu before we get stuck with the check. Maybe it's time to ask whether a 60-day session still makes sense, or whether we need rules that require major tax legislation to be public for a minimum period before a vote. Because somewhere in Olympia right now, there is a 47-page draft that's going to cost us billions. But don't worry, we'll get to read about it the day after it passes. And that's a commentary for January 22nd, 2026. You can always weigh in on the text line, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment on mynorthwest.com. Okay, Sully, what's coming up?
Well, it looks like we might have another crash on southbound I-5 in the Everett area. We'll talk about it coming up next.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
I really had a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So I saw that you visited the baby chicks.
I got to hold 7 of them. They were so cute.
Do you know why Wilcox chickens are so happy?
Because they get to play outside?
Yes.
Happy chickens are healthy chickens.
From our farm to your table, Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
It's hiring season at Sky Nursery. Hi, I'm Jen, greenhouse manager here at Sky, where we've been proudly serving Seattle area gardeners since 1953. Sky Nursery is truly a fantasy plant land, but it's also a bustling environment that takes a great team to succeed. Whether you're making coffee, cashiering, or on the sales floor, we're looking for applicants who like to learn, adapt with the seasons, and go home knowing they made a difference in somebody's garden. Spring is fast approaching. Find open seasonal positions and benefits at skynursery.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
7:43 now, and we head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
And the hits just keep coming for the drive on southbound I-5. Just as we cleared southbound I-5 at 128th in South Everett, the HOV lane, we've added a new crash in the HOV lane and left general purpose lane a little bit further to the north before the Boeing freeway there. And we've added a stall blocking the left lane right there south of the Northgate area where we lose the express lane. So we're up to about an hour and 50 minutes to make it from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So 40-minute plus delays making your way into Seattle or to Bellevue. Now, what's odd today is there aren't as many people on southbound I-5. The backup doesn't really begin until about 175th in Shoreline. It's a little bit further south than we've been used to, but either way, out of the north end is not going to be pretty. Federal Way to Seattle's got about an hour drive. That's actually 10 minutes faster than normal with the express lanes open in that direction. Valley Freeway, we've got about an hour. Rented to Bellevue's about 40 minutes. Lake bridges are still in very good shape, and we're now just starting to see our first little bit of braking. Northbound I-5 getting up from Mercer to the actual construction zone right across the Ship Canal Bridge. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Foggy start to the day. We should burn off mostly this afternoon, at least partly cloudy skies. Highs will be in the low 40s. The next several days, below freezing to start the day, fog, and then afternoon, partly sunny skies. That forecast runs through Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, 32 at 7:44. Coming up, we take a look at some of the latest bills in the state legislature with Seattle Times political reporter Shauna Sowersby, who joins us next on Seattle's Morning News.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Millions of Americans use credit cards to purchase goods every day. The Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates put the secure transactions you rely on at risk, leaving you vulnerable to hackers and foreign cybercriminals that want your data. Hackers win. You lose. Guard your card before it's too late. Tell Congress your data security is not for sale and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
7:48 now. I'm Charlie Harger. The 60-day legislative session continues in Olympia, with lawmakers pushing bills in rapid succession during the truncated session. Shauna Sowersby covers state politics for the Seattle Times. She joins us right now. Shauna, great to have you with us. I thought we would maybe talk about your latest article in the Times about Senate Bill 5993. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, so this is a bill to prohibit interest on medical debt, and this is in addition to a bill that lawmakers passed last year that prohibits prohibits credit agencies from reporting debt on a credit report. So these are kind of in conjunction, and so supporters for the bill, say that it'll provide some relief for medical bills, while opponents say that people won't pay their bills, especially since the state banned credit agencies from reporting medical debt last year. And so this is a bill that's still kind of in committee. They haven't moved it past a public hearing at this point, but it is one that we're going to be keeping an eye on for sure.
And who are the lawmakers behind it?
For this one, this is Senator Alvarado, and then it's kind of a mix of a lot of different Democratic senators. There's no Republican sponsors on this one.
Okay. So kind of widespread support. Alvarado, kind of a prominent lawmaker now in the Senate, so definitely worth watching. Medical associations can't be too happy with this. What are you hearing from them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're definitely pretty not very stoked about this one. They say that this just, what reason would people have to pay any medical debt at this point? And hospital associations are concerned that it would hurt their profits as well. Others say that it could cause other people's premiums to go up, people that are able to pay their medical debt. So there is a little bit of back and forth. I imagine quite a bit of pushback will continue if this bill continues to move through the legislature.
Yeah. Well, let's move over to another healthcare-related bill, 2157. This is about AI usage in what they call high-risk decisions, including in healthcare. What do we know about this?
Yeah, so my colleague Sophia Sostrin wrote about this one, and this is one that is kind of an attempt. We're seeing a lot of attempts this year to sort of regulate AI and put more guardrails around it. And so this one would require companies, especially healthcare, businesses that are hiring people, Housing, if you're applying for housing, it would require companies to test their systems for bias, disclose those risks to customers, and notify customers when AI significantly influences decisions that are being made around them.
And so what we're hearing is that you've probably got some people who say, yeah, we don't want the robots controlling so many aspects of our lives. But I imagine there might be opposition to a bill like this as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's going to come from your tech companies, especially. Obviously, this isn't going to apply to governmental entities or anything like that. But yeah, there is some pushback from some of these companies who say, this is too much, this is overreach. But it is definitely one of the steps that lawmakers are taking to kind of wrap their heads around, this use of AI that everybody is seeing.
Yeah, and it's moving so fast. Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. There's also House Bill 2481. It says this is something about surveillance-based price discrimination and surge pricing. What's at the crux of this one?
Yeah, so this is a fascinating one. I just read about this one last night. There's an article up this morning about it, but this one prohibits retailers from using surveillance or surge pricing. And this is kind of a newer concept, but essentially surveillance pricing is where companies can use any of your data. They can use they can see what's in your shopping cart online, for example, and they can use that as part of your data. They can use demographics, and they can change prices on you based on surveillance data. And so what happens is sometimes people end up paying more than others for groceries because they know that that person is willing to pay a little bit more than somebody else, for example. So it's this kind of new concept. Not a lot of people really know about this one. Very interesting. And then surge pricing is just where, if a product is in high demand, they're going to jack the rates up on that and charge more for it.
What do you think? You are somebody who covers the state legislature for a living. Are they going to have time to get to all of these?
Oh, that was a good question. That's $1 million question. Like you said at the top of the show, 60 days, they've got a lot of stuff to get through. Plus, we still have that gaping hole in our budget that needs to be fixed before the end of session. So probably won't get to a lot of these, but, we'll see how many they can get through.
Getting the conversation started. Well, Shauna, it's great speaking with you for the first time. Shauna Sowersby from the Seattle Times. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
It's 7:53 now on Seattle's Morning News. Sully, what's happening in traffic?
Well, the traffic gods giveth and they taketh away. Just as we cleared the crash on southbound 5 at 128th in South Everett, we added a crash just a little bit further to the north before the Boeing Freeway 526, blocking the HOV lane and the left general purpose lane, and we're backed up almost into downtown Everett. You add that to a stall that's blocking a lane down south of the Northgate area, and we've got about an hour and 50-minute drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. About a 40-minute delay. What's interesting today, based on our loss of the express lanes, it's one of the lighter days we've seen on I-5 in terms of the backup not starting until about 145th-ish instead of around 195th. So I'm not sure where people are not going today or where they are going, because 405 looks like its normal jammed up self from Linwood all the way down through Bothell. So maybe people are finding other ways as we come towards the end of our second week of our months of hell. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle, 50 minutes, so it's running 20 minutes faster than normal. Valley Freeway, about an hour. Rented to Bellevue, 35. The Lake Bridges are still okay, though westbound is starting to get into the act a little bit. This report brought to you by Northwest Hope and Healing. Join them for an evening of hope, healing for Cork and support. Gosh, I'm really having a tough time. Cork, Fork, and Support. The first time I messed that up. An afternoon of wine tasting inspiration. nwhopeandhealing.org.
I've been to one of those. They're great. You should check it out.
Sorry about that.
You are listening to Seattle's Morning News. Coming up, more of the day's top stories and CBS News. It's 7:55.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games, just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pro Savings Days are on at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get an additional 5% off when you buy 5 or more select GE, Whirlpool, and Electrolux kitchen or laundry major appliances. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 123. Discount valid to My Lowe's Pro Rewards members only. Exclusions and other restrictions apply. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for details. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have two choices: handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Jack Smith, the former special counsel who oversaw 2 investigations into President Trump, is telling Congress he stands by the work he tried to do.
I made my decisions without regard to President Trump's political association, activities, beliefs, or candidacy in the 2024 election. President Trump was charged because the evidence established that he willfully broke the law.
Smith brought cases accusing Trump of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election and keeping classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Wrapping up his stay in Switzerland, President Trump met today with Ukraine's president.
It was good. Look, we have a ways to go. They're meeting with President Putin today, as you know. The meeting was good with President Zelensky. We'll see how it turns out.
Zelensky indicated the United Arab Emirates will host trilateral talks on the Ukraine war with U.S., Russian, and Ukrainian officials. A donated jet could start serving as Air Force One later this year, as we hear from CBS's Michael Wallace.
The Air Force confirms it will deliver the refurbished jumbo jet no later than this summer. When Qatar's royal family donated the jet last spring, critics had security and ethics concerns, but President Trump defended the gift.
I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too.
The two jets that currently serve as Air Force One are 35 years old. Tuesday, one of them was flying Trump to Davos when it had to return due to a minor electrical issue.
On the weather map, forecaster Craig Allen watching fierce cold settle in.
We have extreme cold watches and warnings already covering the northern plains, and it runs from portions of Montana through the Dakotas as well as Nebraska. Includes Minnesota and Iowa over towards Wisconsin and Michigan, continues on down to south of Chicago into Indiana as well as Missouri.
Possibly significant snow is ahead from the nation's midsection into the northeast into this weekend. A report from a bipartisan think tank shows a 21% decrease in the homicide rate from 24 to 25, based on information from 35 American cities. History made today in Hollywood. The film Sinners collected 16 Oscar nominations. That's an all-time record.
Yes, I lied to you. I love the blues.
The bluesy vampire epic is up for Best Picture. So is One Battle After Another, with 13 nominations.
I didn't ask for this. That's just how the cards were rolled out for me.
It's not cards. You don't roll cards. It's dice.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 374 points. The S&P is up 36. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's 8:03, and we check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we are starting this hour with kind of an odd mixed bag of things. The drive out of Snohomish County is by far going to be the worst, but depending on where you get on, it may not be as bad. So, for instance, if you're going all the way from, say, Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, you're looking at about an hour and 50-minute trip. You're looking at pulling into either one of those destinations just before 10 a.m. The reason, we've got about a 3.5-mile backup now on southbound I-5 getting towards the Boeing Freeway out of Everett. We're backed up all the way to US 2. That's because the HOV lane and now 2 left general purpose lanes are blocked. We only have 2 out of 5 lanes open there, approaching 527. Now you get a nice long freeway speed drive on I-5 all the way down to about 145th today, even with the lane restrictions. So that's a little bit better. I'm trying to figure out where everybody isn't or where they went.
Here's what I think you need to do. We need to rebrand it on a day like this to Month of Heck.
I stick with my branding. Me and SEA, well, we're going down with our marketing division. Southbound 405 is bumper to bumper from Linwood on down. Looking at northbound I-5, we have a really easy drive, 50 minutes for you guys, just some braking here and there, getting into downtown. Rented to Bellevue's about 35 minutes. The Valley Freeway's just under an hour, which is great. And the Lake Bridge is hanging in there, only about 25 minutes to get across. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
8:04 on the Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Harger. Police shot and killed a man after a standoff in Lacey yesterday evening. Independent journalist Steve Hickey went to the scene and filed this report for KIRO Newsradio.
Here behind me in this apartment complex is the end result of an officer-involved shooting after an hours-long standoff. It started in the afternoon. A neighbor nearby called saying that there was a person here discharging a weapon and that bullets had flown their direction and gone through their fence. Police showed up, confirmed that's what happened, came over here to try and make contact with the person. At that point, he ran back into the apartment complex, ran back into his unit, and barricaded himself inside. More units showed up. They eventually were able to make some sort of contact with him, I believe, through the phone. He said that he had hundreds of rounds of 9mm, hundreds of rounds of 5.56, and that he had wired the place with explosives in the last 2 weeks that he'd been planning this whole event. that point, a lot more resources got dispatched. As they continued to talk to him, they also contacted family members, and those family members said that he does have a background in building IED-type explosives. Over the next subsequent hours, he continued to fire his weapon, shooting through walls, shooting through a door. They cleared out the entire complex. However, in the end, he came out that door one last time. There was an exchange of gunfire, and that man is now deceased. It's not clear what led up to this. It sounds like there may have been some sort of emotional component, a recent breakup. What is known is this person's no longer here, and there's going to be a large-scale investigation that most likely will go into tomorrow morning as they bring in outside agencies to help investigate this officer-involved shooting.
Photog Steve with that report for us. We now know why a veteran Tacoma police sergeant was terminated last year. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch filed a public disclosure request last August, and after multiple delays, the city finally released the records.
In a memo, Tacoma Police Chief Patricia Jackson wrote, TPD Sergeant Shane Wimbles was terminated last June after an internal investigation found he had sent multiple nude pictures of himself to female department employees via their social media accounts. Chief Jackson wrote his behavior was predatory, intentional, repeated, and inconsistent with personal and professional standards, and that it led to a loss of confidence, a breakdown in trust, and a measurable erosion of morale. The investigation also found Wimbles exhibited unbecoming conduct for allegedly submitting time cards with falsified signatures. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Going for a deputy's gun, a man is seen on body camera in a struggle with a Pierce County Sheriff's deputy.
Hey, let go of my gun. Let go of my gun.
Happened last week at a Tacoma apartment. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley has her story.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office tells me that man had violated a protection order, and they didn't know what situation they were walking into when they got inside that apartment. They say he tried to grab a deputy's gun several times in a struggle so aggressive it knocked off deputies' body-worn cameras, ultimately ending when the suspect took off and jumped off a third-story balcony.
The guy was treated at the hospital. Nobody else was hurt. Governor Bob Ferguson is asking President Donald Trump for a major disaster declaration after last month's historic storms and floods.
Governor Ferguson was on the phone with the Federal Emergency Management Agency even as the disaster was unfolding.
We had a good conversation to describe in detail the situation here in Washington State and really the tremendous need that Washington State has for assistance from the federal government.
He's asking for $21.3 million in FEMA assistance for survivors in 10 counties and 15 tribal nations. Nearly 4,000 homes were damaged, more than 100,000 people had to evacuate, and one person died. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
I seem to wake Sully up over there. He is going crazy right now.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, some Jimmy Page, baby.
Gonna break his headphones.
Let's go.
So if you're watching on the YouTube feed, Sully is not only rocking out, like his headphones flew off. He was banging his head so hard.
Jimmy Page just gets you going.
Yeah. If that doesn't get you going, what does?
Not
the
lots
traffic.
of things.
Yeah.
But no, but that.
Good morning.
Yeah,
it is Seattle's
I'm
Morning
up now.
News. He is up now. That is Chris Sullivan. I'm Charlie Harger. Producer David Burbank. He was silently banging his head on that video. You are watching the show online and listening to it right here on 97.3 FM. Happy Friday Eve. We're getting ready for that big NFC Championship game. It's coming up 3:30 Sunday right here on KIRO News Radio. Coming up at this hour of the show, we'll get a legislative update from Paul Query, the editor and founder of the Washington Observer on Substack. Plus, G. Scott will stop by with why he thinks we're living in a golden age for Seattle sports. Okay, one win stands between the Seahawks and the Super Bowl, and it comes down to a rival they know all too well. Seattle battles the LA Rams in the NFC Championship with the 12s ready to turn the volume all the way up. It's win or go home, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to set the stage for the biggest game of the season.
Oh, Charlie, this morning we're having a lot of fun celebrating all of the 12s out there listening and watching on our YouTube feed. Kickoff again for the big game is 3:30 this Sunday. You can hear it live on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Hey, we've got the 12 flag here in the studio that you can check out on YouTube, collecting signatures from everyone here in the KIRO newsroom. And later today, I'm going to be taking that out to the 12s. I'm going to be getting signatures, your memories. We're going to share some thoughts about the big game. You know, the Hawks cannot beat the Rams without the 12s.
The universe runs on the power of 12.
That's right. Your power helped beat the Broncos in Super Bowl 48.
Dominant performance. Pete Carroll, the Seattle Seahawks.
And the NFL Network's Rich Eisen, of course, recognizing the power of the 12s in that game from the very first play.
The first snap of the game goes into the end zone at 12 seconds into the game.
12s to Percy Harvin's second half kickoff return.
It was just 12 seconds into this half.
12s.
87 yards. The 12th man watching them score 12 seconds into each half.
I mean, all you have to do is yell, Seahawks! See what I mean? You can go anywhere in this country and you get the same result. You will find your fellow 12s. There are 12 months in a year, 12 hours on a clock face, 12 inches in a foot, 12 eggs in a dozen. Am I getting you? Am I getting you? There are 12 apostles and 12 tribes of Israel. And speaking of Israel, I recently met David Israel, the Seahawks super fan. David Israel is the youngest season ticket holder in franchise history, folks.
My dad bought the tickets, I think it was July 28th, 1976. I was just about 3 years old.
Yeah, pretty cool story he's got. He's got a lot of memories as well. He's also pretty superstitious. Maybe you are too. There are things, you know, that a super fan has to wear and do every game.
There was a pair of socks I had to wear every single game. Every game I go to, I wear my same jersey, my 12 jersey with my name on it, and this really cool neon green sweatshirt that was actually given to Dave Chappelle by Marshawn Lynch, and Chappelle didn't want it, so he gave it to me. So I wear that underneath my jersey. That's the same thing I wear to every single game. Always have.
So look for David this Sunday with that green sweater underneath. You know, no one's got memorabilia like that, do they? You know, David told me he was a club manager at the time. That's how he came into possession of that. But coming up, he also freaks me out a little bit. David has predicted every big game the Seahawks has ever played, and we're going to share his gut feeling and prediction about this Sunday's game. Oh, go Hawks, go 12s.
Well, you know, it is 8-12.
It is 8-12 right now.
That means it's time to get a check on the weather with KIRO 7's Nick Allery.
Some areas of fog and freezing fog still this morning, but I do expect that to lift. We're also looking for increasing clouds that are starting to push in now. Will eventually lead to the potential for a few light showers, especially south and west of Puget Sound. Really shouldn't be a lot, but that chance is there just for, you know, a few sprinkles here and there. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, and temperatures that today will easily get into the low 40s. Tomorrow is going to be morning fog, afternoon sunshine in the mid-40s, and same thing on Saturday and Sunday. Looks really nice for the Hawks game, with more clouds Monday, Tuesday, but I think we hold off on rain at this point until probably on Wednesday.
33 right now in Seattle. 8:13 traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
You know, Charlie, or anything other than your bank account with, you know, 3 digits a good thing? I mean, is anything 3 digits a good thing? You know, like think of the temperature.
Yeah. Is it over 100? Nope.
Nope.
Well, you want your food to be 3 digits of temperature.
No, you'll get at least 165 to 180. Yeah, if you're doing chicken, yeah, something like that. Your bank account, you know, I like that. What I don't like triple digits in is travel times. And we're deep into triple digits from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Hour and 50 minutes. That's 110 minutes. You're adding it up to go from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. We still have a pretty significant crash response, southbound 5 approaching the Boeing Freeway in the Everett area. The HOV lane, left general purpose lane, and the left center lane are blocked, so only 2 out of the 5 lanes are open. Then you get through that, and it's not too bad till you get to Linwood for 405, and for I-5, it's really crazy. You really don't hit the brakes till you're down to about 145th today, though a lot of our drivers are saying they're thinking people are using a lot more side streets today. Someone said they were going down trying to get, into the U District, and they were driving down past Sandpoint, and they said a bunch of people on that area there past Children's Hospital. So I guess people are finding a way. Federal Way to Seattle's only 50 minutes. That's 15 minutes faster than normal. 50 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's about 35. This report brought to you by Subaru Puyallup. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing at SubaruPuyallup.com. Stress-free buying experiences at Subaru Puyallup, which is your stress-free dealership.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
8:15 now. We continue our look at the discussions down in Olympia during this short legislative session as bills and initiatives are proposed and debated. Let's get some analysis from the editor and publisher of the Washington Observer on Substack. I'm a subscriber, Paul Query. Thanks for joining us today, Paul. We hear Paul. He doesn't hear us. But this is a really nice look, David. What do you think? Here's what we'll do. We'll get to Paul in just a second, but first, let's talk about surviving the big dark.
This is the time of year where the sunrise is late and the sunset is early. And we have some good news. This coming Sunday, right after the Seahawks hopefully beat the Los Angeles Rams, we will have our first 5 p.m. sunset.
That is KIRO Newsradio meteorologist Ted Beener. Blue Origin is blasting into the satellite internet business.
I'm Jillian Raftery. The Kent-based company announced plans for a network called TerraWave. It could include more than 5,400 satellites, most in low Earth orbit. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, launches are expected to start in late 2027. Blue Origin says the service will focus on enterprise and government customers.
Well, one of Seattle's biggest real estate projects is back on track. The two-tower development at 1200 Stewart Street now has a new developer. Its signature feature, remember this from a few years back? A Boeing 747 fuselage connecting the two towers. It'll be 14 feet off the ground. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports the installation should be finished by the end of next month. The project includes more than 1,000 apartments, a music venue, and a Trader Joe's. Okay, it's 8:17. I think we've worked out the bugaboos with Paul Query, the editor and publisher of the Washington Observer on Substack. Hey, good morning, Paul. I really appreciate your time today. I wanted to begin our conversation about the state legislature looking at the initiative process, because a lot of the Let's Go Washington initiatives are sitting on the desks of lawmakers. Where do things stand? Let's start with the gas initiative, which is in front of the Supreme Court today.
Right, that's in front of the Supreme Court today. As you may remember, that was kind of an add-on to Let's Go Washington's slate in 2024 to try to roll back some of the restrictions that the legislature had put on the use of natural gas. The voters adopted it quite narrowly. It was thrown out by a lower court, and now it's in front of the Supreme Court.
And so this is something that it passed quite handily among voters. But we heard yesterday former state AG Rob McKenna saying it might face an uphill battle in front of the Supreme Court. Is that what you're hearing too?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was thrown out to the lower court for violating the single subject rule, which is a rule that bills in the legislature and most specifically initiatives are only supposed to target one subject. And that bill kind of rolled in a bunch of stuff about natural gas. And so I think that there's some, Supreme Court watchers, think its fate may be a little dicey.
There were some proposals we reported on earlier in the week about adjusting the state initiative process. One of the big things was about paying signature gatherers. This was in front of a committee hearing this week. What are you watching there?
So that the sponsors of that bill kind of frame it as a reform to sort of get rid of fraud and misleading signature gathering techniques, because right now most signature gatherers are paid by the signature, which incentivizes them to hustle and gather as many signatures as possible, obviously. But the practical effect of that change would be to make the process much more expensive. Other states have done this for kind of the opposite set of reasons. For example, in Arizona, where Republicans controlled the legislature, they were getting their brains beat out at the ballot box by ballot initiatives from sort of the progressive political wing down there. And so they made some changes to the initiative process. And the effect of it was to, double and triple the cost of getting a measure on the ballot.
And some critics say this would be an initiative killer in Washington. What are they saying?
I mean, essentially that, and particularly Let's Go Washington, has kind of built a better mousetrap in terms of getting on the ballot. They were able to get 6 ballot measures before the legislature in 2024 for about $6 million, which was insanely cheap. And they're concerned that this change will just balloon their costs well beyond the appetite of the folks who pay for it to foot the bill.
So let's zoom out a little bit here. The initiative process in Washington State, it used to be a Tim Eyman thing, and now we're hearing about Brian Haywood doing a lot of it. Where are things with the initiatives in Washington? Has Haywood taken over as the new initiative king?
I mean, he's definitely the initiative king on the right. And there has not been in recent years a lot of initiative action on the left. And that's in part because the legislature is so overwhelmingly Democratic and progressives wield so much power at that level that they don't really need the initiative process anymore, which didn't used to be the case. I mean, 20 years ago, we saw a lot of initiatives from the left, and they accomplished a fairly significant significant number of things. But now, if you're on the left, the initiatives become sort of an expensive irritant, if you will. In 2024, sort of progressive donors and groups spent something like $30 million defeating most of Let's Go Washington's slate, and there's other things they'd like to spend that money on.
We're speaking with the editor and publisher of the Washington Observer on Substack, Paul Query. Paul, I had a commentary a little earlier this morning. We spoke with Jerry Cornfield from the Washington Observer, or not the Washington State Standard a little bit earlier. So many Washingtons here. But Paul, he was saying he's looked at like draft number 4 of the Washington State budget proposal for this year. It's looking really complicated, and what he was saying was something to the effect of, we're probably not going to know until the last 2 weeks, maybe 1 week, what is actually in all of these budget proposals. What are you hearing in terms of what we might be looking at in new taxes?
I mean, I think that they're scraping around for, as much money as they can find. They have sort of 2 budget issues that they're looking at. One is the short-term problem, which is probably what Jerry was talking about. And the other is kind of the long-term budgetary and revenue picture. And, we saw in Governor Ferguson's budget package, things like tapping the rainy day fund, getting rid of the sort of 4-year budget outlook, which allows the legislature to do some sort of budgetary tricks that makes the budget look better than it is in the short term. I would expect to see all that kind of thing and more. On the longer term front, that's where we start talking about new taxes, like the income tax on the state's very highest earners, which, we anticipate to be very much a thing this year.
Do you think that is the sort of thing that goes to voters to have the ultimate say on an income tax?
I think it's just vanishingly unlikely that doesn't happen. I mean, the legislature probably will not send it directly to the voters, but there is sufficient, what we say, animosity on the right toward that idea that I just think it's going to wind up on the ballot one way or another.
Well, I appreciate you not cursing, Paul. That's growth from you, and we like hearing that.
Hey, so I'm a print guy. I'm not used to these rules.
I know. Darn FCC. Hey, listen, Paul, it's great talking with you today. We're going to be talking with you every week at this time, keeping us up to date, and appreciate your time today. That is Paul Query, Washington Observer on Substack. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks a lot.
Time to check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Little positive news for those of you stuck in the backup around Highway 2 heading southbound I-5 through Everett. The crash that we had right near the Boeing Freeway is out of the way. All lanes have reopened. Damage still done, though. We picked up 10 minutes, but it's still an hour and 40-minute trip to go from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. For I-5, you really don't hit the brakes until you're down into about 145th, but boy, on down, it's not great. 405, it's there from Linwood on down. Looking at northbound I-5, actually not too bad at all as we go from Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 minutes. That's 15 minutes faster than normal. There is about a 10-minute delay going northbound up through the Ship Canal Bridge where the lanes are closed. Across the lake, we're doing okay. I-90 is a better bridge than 520. Renton to Bellevue is at about 40 minutes. Behind that, 50 from Puyallup to Renton. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download your KIRO Newsradio app and listen to your favorite shows. Get all the news and updates right to your phone.
Word here for the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. A lot of people will never say this. They will never say, I wish I could pay more taxes. Yet, a lot of people heading into retirement are doing exactly that without even realizing it. If you have saved more than $300,000, that is something to be proud of. But here's the thing. Taxes could end up being your biggest expense in retirement. Taxes on your IRA, 401k withdrawals, Social Security, your investment income. It all adds up fast. And that's what I want to tell you about the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. They are offering a free, customized retirement tax savings analysis. No cost, no obligation. They will show you the strategies that could significantly reduce what you owe, so more of your money stays right where it belongs, with you. Boss has 2 locations in the Seattle area. Call them at 206-210-1350, 206-210-1350. Keep more, give the IRS less. 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host Hack.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
For over 50 years, they've spread a message of brotherhood and harmony through multi-platinum funk. The original street band, War. Live at Jazz Alley, January 29th through February 1st. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
8:31 now, and from the locker room to the living room, anticipation is building. The Seahawks face the LA Rams in the NFC Championship game Sunday. 12s are preparing to rally for the biggest game of the season, of the year, of the decade. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more to get us all ready for the big game.
Yeah, Charlie, all morning long we've been celebrating all of you 12s out there listening and watching on our YouTube feed, whether you're nervous or you're excited.
I don't want to pop off too much. I'm confident.
I don't think it's going to be easy, and I have a lot of faith in the Seahawks being prepared.
I do too, Polly. Hey, you can see on our YouTube feed right now our 12 flag right there. We've collected signatures on that flag from Charlie, Manda, David, and Sully, and we'll be collecting more 12 signatures later today. Hey, did you know, and I know that you're into numerology, Sully. I pick on you a lot. I know,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm with you.
In astrology, there are 12 signs of the zodiac. In ancient Rome, 12 tables created Roman law. In Norse mythology, there are 12 major gods. 12. 12. And everyone knows 1 + 2 is 3, which is...
Yeah, that's a magic number.
Magic, baby. David is... You're just staring at me. David Israel is a 12 as well. He was one time the president of the Seahawks fan club, the 2006 winner of the Ultimate Fan Award as well. We've been sharing stories from David all morning long. He was also the youngest season ticket holder in franchise history.
My dad bought the tickets, I think it was July 28th, 1976. I was just about 3 years old.
Well, check this out. David has also predicted the outcome of every big Seahawks game and just about every big play.
I'm not trying to claim that I'm clairvoyant or anything, but I kind of saw it happening before it happened. I've actually been lucky that way with a lot of the plays. As soon as, especially when our quarterback's throwing the ball, I can pretty much tell right away.
Yeah, he told me he knew the Hawks were going to lose the 2006 Super Bowl against the Steelers. On a brighter note, he visualized Richard Sherman slapping that Colin Kaepernick pass to Malcolm Smith for an interception in the 2013 NFC Championship. Intuition and great defense told him the Hawks were going to beat the Broncos in Super Bowl 48, but how about this Sunday against the Rams?
My only concern is that I don't want to badmouth anyone, but I can't fully put my stock into Darnold yet. He's either on or he's not.
Yeah, but he's confident that it will not come down to Darnold.
As long as our offense stays strong, I don't think anyone can touch our defense. I really don't.
And if we win, how are you all going to celebrate? Well, I'm going to tell you how David is going to celebrate a super 12.
Oh, just with friends primarily. You know, for me, friends make the game. It just wouldn't be the same without good buddies. You know, like family and friends, man. It's something special.
That's really cool. Charlie, kickoff 3:30 this Sunday.
Let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx it.
Go Hawks.
I'm a big believer in the jinxing. Do you call him the Darnold? I think I heard him call him the Darnold.
You want to play that again?
No, we don't have time.
Let's go to the Sullivan now.
Time to check traffic. Here's Sully.
There might be 12 Norse gods, but there's only one traffic god. And it's me.
Oh, Nate is coming up at noon today.
No, but he's more of a demigod.
Hey-o.
And then, by the way, that's G, small g, just in case somebody was concerned out there.
How's
full
traffic?
of myself. Well, we're getting better up in the Everett area. After this long-term crash we've had right before we get to the Boeing Freeway, still very heavy from before Highway 2 in and around the area, but the travel times come back down another 10 minutes. Hour and a half, Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. I know that's still terrible, but it's only a 25-minute delay. Northbound I-5 from Federal Way to Seattle looks pretty good until you get up to about the middle of Boeing Field. About 55 minutes again, with 35 of those minutes from South Center. There is about a 10-minute delay getting out of downtown Seattle, heading north up to the Ship Canal Bridge, where the left lanes remain blocked. Westbound 520, really heavy driving into that. Actually, I-90 is a better bridge today. Rented to Bellevue is about 40 minutes. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is under 50. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast calls for morning fog to burn off. Cloudy, maybe some sun breaks this afternoon. Not quite as sunny as it was yesterday, but dry. Dry the next several days through the weekend. NFC Championship game will be dry at Lumen Field. Right now in Seattle, it's 33 at 8:35.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Yeah, talking about all that dry weather, but just 6 weeks ago, we had those atmospheric rivers, those big old storms hit our region, caused flooding, catastrophic in places across the state. WSDOT still working to repair much of the damage, and Sully is here with the latest on those efforts.
And we heard from Steve Rourke earlier this week at the legislature. He's the Olympic Region Administrator for the Department of Transportation, and he spelled out just how bad the damage is.
We've identified 50, think of these as work orders, emergency work orders. We've identified 50 sites that we are tracking and making repairs at.
50 emergency sites on their state roadways that they manage, and that doesn't include all the counties and city stuff that we had to go through as well. These are everything from, washouts, undercutting of roads, damaged bridges, things like that. Rourke told lawmakers in Olympia this week that damage will be likely coming in around $50 million.
The preliminary damage estimate you see there, it is just that. It is an early estimate. We are still incurring costs. We are still compiling the costs, and we have a lot of work left to do. So the $40 to $50 million is just our best guess at this point. I think it's a good educated guess.
A lot of the money is expected to come from the federal government under the emergency declaration from Governor Ferguson. Many of the damaged areas have been fixed, some temporarily, but there are plenty that will require more time. I want to focus on SR2 between Skykomish and Leavenworth. That one, different spots along that highway got really, really hit hard during this atmospheric river. And of course, we still can't get into Leavenworth from Coles Corner because of the damage. So let's start just east of Skykomish. Rourke says about 600 feet of the highway was buried by up to 10 feet of debris. And while they did reopen the road, long-term repairs won't be done until this summer.
About a 3-mile section of US 2 in the eastbound direction, the shoulder was completely undermined. About 40 drainage culverts were plugged and in bad shape.
East of Stevens Pass, 3 miles of the highway was washed out in some way. Lanes are now open from the pass to Coles Corner, but permanent repairs will be needed later this year as well. US 2 remains closed from Coles Corner down into Leavenworth. We've had that detour in and around that we've been talking about. The shoulder and a driving lane was washed out in 16 different spots in that 14-mile stretch down to Leavenworth. WSDOT needs to bring in large boulders to rebuild the sides of the highway and then be able to put the highway back together. Rourke hopes to have some access returned this spring.
We're letting another contract very soon to make the permanent repairs. We anticipate having this segment of US 2 reopened by March, but there's just a lot of work left to do to get that accomplished.
And again, the permanent repairs there later this year because it's snowing up there. I mean, and the conditions are not great. So they're in the process of doing what they can to get this open, but hopefully we can get into Leavenworth now here in a month or two.
A lot of this, though, Sully, we were talking a little earlier, this is contingent on the president approving a disaster declaration for Washington State. And recall, he did not approve one for the wildfires last week.
That is correct. So in hearing from Mr. Rourke talking to legislators, he believes that that shouldn't be an issue because apparently there are a couple of different declarations involved. Yesterday, we heard from Governor Ferguson. He had a FEMA declaration that handles a little bit less money than some of the other declarations and emergencies that they filed earlier during the storms themselves. And the state expects to get about 80% of the repair work paid for by those with federal money. If they don't, that $40 to $50 million is going to be taken out of the current maintenance budget. They're going to have to eat it. But he's confident that they'll be able to get the money from the federal government for this.
Mr. Rourke is confident the money isn't on Fantasy Island.
That is correct. It's on the plane, boss.
What's coming up in traffic?
We're looking at the southbound I-5 drive getting better through Everett, but it's going to take a little while.
We are finally just about set.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A perfect pass by Darnold.
Here's Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the NFC Championship game.
These guys, they take it very seriously.
Seahawks, Rams, Sunday at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 3:30.
I really having a hard time hearing thanks to the 12s.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO Newsradio.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
A lot of businesses are looking ahead for guidance and the right partners in the new year, and the right bank can make a difference, right, Brad?
That's right, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, express loans, lines of credit, business credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender, so you can grow with confidence.
What about when you need help with something? In this digital age, does WaFd have an actual person available?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local business bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations so we can recommend the service that would be most helpful.
And to learn more, visit wafedbank.com or visit your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank multiple years in a row by numerous financial publications. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have two choices. Handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
8:43, Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
And the most unusual slowing we have today is westbound across the trestle to southbound I-5 up in the Everett area. We've had a couple of crashes along that corridor on I-5 today, which really kind of put us back. and the heaviest braking that we have right now is just kind of leftovers from that. So we are going to lose some time going through Everett down to the Boeing Freeway where the last of the crashes was. But then it's going to be a really good drive on I-5, if you can believe it, all the way down to 145th in North Seattle. That whole corridor looks really good, but from there on down, it just bogs down into and through downtown. The overall travel time from Everett to Seattle is actually about an hour and 20 minutes. Same hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, but for 405, it's really just from Linwood down through 522, a little bit in Totem Lake. So we're starting to get there. 99, no, southbound is not a good option from basically Green Lake all the way into downtown. Looking at westbound 520, we are really heavy from the middle of the lake now, tying into I-5. That's because you're driving right into the Ship Canal construction zone, which is in the northbound direction, and northbound I-5 has about a 10-minute delay through that area. Northbound I-5 a little bit further to the south as you work past the Boeing Field area up into downtown. We've got about 35 minutes from South Center. That puts us just over 50 minutes all the way from Federal Way, which isn't bad. We're under 50 from Puyallup to Renton, and Renton to Bellevue's running right around 40, so those corridors are about average. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube, click subscribe, and get fresh video content daily.
Forecast looks like we'll have fog burn off. Makes its way for clouds this afternoon, maybe some sun breaks. Highs in the low 40s. Next several days, we'll have partly sunny skies in the afternoon after morning fog and below freezing conditions. Next several days. Wednesday is the next day with any precipitation in the forecast. Right now, it's 32 in Seattle, and coming up, it's been a pretty special past 3 months in Seattle sports with the Mariners and now the Seahawks. G. Scott will stop by and discuss whether we're living in a golden era for Seattle sports. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in 1 day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Hi, Ursula Royteen here. There's a reason I send so many people to Carter Subaru and why I am a repeat customer. They are Seattle's only Subaru dealership, and they have the largest selection in the state with over 700 Subarus in stock. Right now, get a 2025 Subaru Outback with 3.9% financing. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 1/31/26.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula Show, the Reset Podcast. Before we get to our main topic, G. Scott, a little earlier, I mentioned in the newscast, I didn't want to jinx the Seahawks by mentioning the following game they may be able to play. So my brother-in-law, the one who he loves the G and Ursula Show and thinks it's cool that I know you. And oh, that's nice that you have a show on KIRO too, Charlie.
Yeah.
He's a big Packers fan.
Oh, is he?
And he goes to me, "Oh, you believe in a jinx now, do you?" Because during the Packers-Bears game, I said, hey, congratulations on your team making it to the next round in the playoffs. Wow. It looked like they were going to win. Anyway, he's still pretty salty at me about that.
Wait, did you send him a text or did you say that to him?
A congratulatory text. It was like the third quarter. I said,
"Oh, in the third quarter?"
Yeah, I said, "Hey, Tripp, congratulations. You're going to move on in the playoffs."
Yeah,
it looked like it.
I'd be mad at you, too.
Yeah. And then he heard me not wanting to jinx the Seahawks. And he says, "It's just because you're my brother-in-law, I'm not going to mention your team."
Oh, okay.
All right. Do you believe in a jinx?
I do.
Yeah.
If my story, I shared something and actually I kind of messed up. I showed people my parking spot inside of the stadium. Well, I have a parking spot where the Seahawks are undefeated right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so on last Saturday, I got nervous because I saw that because I usually get there really early. Yeah. And I saw that there were already a lot of cars.
Oh, no.
And I was like, no. Oh, yeah. So as long as I get my spot this Sunday, we're good to go.
Good to go.
So, yeah, I have superstitions.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the golden era, though, because here we are. Had the Mariners make that fantastic playoff run, came up just short, and we now have the Seahawks who are on the precipice. Mariners may do something special again next year. Are we in a golden era of Seattle sports?
Absolutely. And we've had this, Ursula and I had this conversation yesterday. Yes, we are in the golden age. First, let's talk about the Mariners and what they did. It was the first time in 50 years. So the Mariners have been around for 50 years. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks have been around for 50 years. But this is the first time that each team has won their division in the same season. Incredible. And then, oh, by the way, the Mariners have this guy by the name of Cal Raleigh, who I believe should have been the American League MVP, right?
Yeah.
Catcher, hits 60-plus home runs. He should have been the American League MVP. The Seahawks have this guy by the name of Jackson Smith and Jigba, who is winning awards all over the place, is the leading receiver, receiving yards for the season with 1,793. And to have that happening at the same time, that makes it magical. More importantly, I think that, yes, there's more that's to happen, but this is just back-to-back excitement.
Yeah.
You go from baseball to football, and there was arguments where people text in and they said, well, gee, what about the Sonics
95, 96,
and then the Mariners, right? Well, sure, you could say that, right? But I don't think that during that time, I wasn't here, so I'll just try. Maybe you and Sully can answer this. I wasn't here during that time. But did you guys really think the Mariners were going to win the World Series then?
In 95, yeah.
You did think so?
Yeah.
Okay,
felt like it was destiny.
All right, here's my next one. In 96, did you really think that the Sonics were going to beat
the Bulls?
The Bulls with Michael Jordan?
That was a stretch.
Fair.
Now, Sir Mix-a-Lot had a great song about it, though. Nah, Not in Our House. It's a jam. It was really good. It became the Sonics theme song. Maybe we need a Seahawks and Mariners theme song.
We do. And so I think that right now, this excitement, what's going on. And by the way, I am so happy for the Knicks of the world and all of the Gen Z, because now they get their opportunity
100%.
to feel and see all of this. So that's excitement. So, yes, I'm going to die on this hill. I think that right here, this is the best. And before we move on from this topic, I said this on my podcast, and I think I said it to you guys. enjoy this moment because there is
life is short.
I mean, it took 50 years for the Seahawks and the Mariners to win their division at the same time in the same year. It took 50 years. So it's no guarantee that'll happen again. It's took 11 total years for the Seahawks to get back in the NFC Championship game. The last time they were there, they played this game was January of 2015. Now, it took 11 years for that. So it's not guaranteed.
All right. Well, Manda just texted me.
What'd she say?
She says, "Gee, you are excused."
I mean, that's rude.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But, Manda is a stickler for the rules.
All right.
G and Ursula coming up 9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. Sully, take it away.
And we are working with a new crash to tell you about northbound on the Valley Freeway. As you approach 277th in Kent, only the express toll lane is open, and it is free right now. It's open to everybody to get around this crash. And so we've jumped back up to 35 minutes out of Auburn and to an hour all the way out of Puyallup. And then Renton to Bellevue isn't too bad at 35 minutes. Northbound I-5, really good from Federal Way all the way up to about the middle of Boeing Field. Still have about a 50-minute trip with 35 of those minutes from South Center, and you are losing 10 minutes trying to get up to the Ship Canal Bridge out of downtown. Coming down from the north end, we're getting much better in Everett, but we still have heavy braking away from Linwood to primarily on 405. For I-5, it doesn't start until about 145th today, but we still have about 55 minutes from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high in the low 40s today. Morning fog will burn off. Afternoon clouds. Right now, it's 33 in Seattle. Hey, one of my favorites is coming up on the G and Ursula show. Seattle rapper Dre's. I talked about Sir Mix-a-Lot with Sonic's playoff anthem. Well, he has a Seahawks playoff anthem. We'll talk about that on the G and Ursula show.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like Choke Point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host PAC.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Your best